What is up, everybody? It is Wednesday night, which means it is time for Gear and Beer. Feeling good on a Wednesday. Cheers. So, what's everybody doing? This is really weird because we normally have a monitor and stuff that we can see things, and we don't have that tonight. What we have instead is me trying to watch it on another laptop on YouTube, but there's a ton of latency.
We just cheered on
a ridiculous amount of latency, and it is really it's real bad. Oh no, I made it way worse, and then I paused it. Oh dude, oh there we go. That's what I want. Trying to make sure we can see your guys' comments. So how's everybody doing tonight? How you doing tonight?
I'm good, man.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's cold.
I know. It's cold. Yeah, it's cute. We're in Nashville, and like Dorian and Manny brought the cold from Canada down here. It was like, for all of our Canadian friends, it was like 20 degrees here like 2 weeks ago. And then they came down and it was like -2 or -4 in freezing rain last night. And no fun. So
Nope, no fun club.
what's that in Fahrenheit? Fahrenheit?
Fahrenheit here?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. What did it get down to, like 29 or 30, something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your system makes a lot of sense. Just saying. Yeah, you know, what's everybody up to tonight? What's everybody drinking? We're obviously here at the wonderful Blackbird Studios in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah. Blackbird Studio, Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah, having some fun, checking out some stuff, and you know, playing around. And we actually weren't going to be doing anything with the Dumble that they have here. And we were trying to think of things to do for Gear and Beer, because I'm like, well, I know it's going to be Shawn and I, because we're here. And I don't know what we're doing. And Manny and I were going for a drink at this kick-ass speakeasy. If you guys are ever in Nashville, go check out Attaboy in East Nashville.
Do.
Yeah, killer speakeasy. And I was like, well, should we do the thing from... Are you trying to turn my voice off, or what are you doing there? Yeah.
He just put it, that says done.
Yeah. Like I'm done? Like, is that what?
It's over. The stream's over.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, really appreciate that, Manny. Love you. No, and I was like, man, are we going to do this at, like, Blackbird, or are we going to go over and do it? There's this awesome place in Nashville, in East Nashville, called Home. Yeah. Which makes it weird to say, like, are we going to do this at home? Because obviously that's a long ways away from here. Mm-hmm. But no, it's...
Helping our music
evolve.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And it's like a musician's co-op. They have, like, awesome rehearsal spaces. They have, like, a small live venue with, like, stage and PA and lights and stuff. Small recording kind of, like...
Yeah, studios that you can stream
has, like,
in.
Yeah, like, I'd say, like, vocals and guitars you could probably do in there. No
easily.
drums.
Yeah.
I guess you could do the drums in that live room. Mm-hmm. Yeah, really cool place that, you know, you can join because it's a co-op. So, and it's got great rates for doing stuff like that. I'm trying my best to pitch them as hard as possible because they gave me $0 to do that. So, you know, no.
No, that's a great place, man.
Yeah, we do lots of like in-person event stuff there when we do them in town, and they're really great dudes that run that place. Like Logan and Banks are awesome, and
yes, they are.
So we were wondering about doing it there or here, and I was like, man, what are we going to talk about? And I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, there's a Dumble Overdrive special at Blackbird.
And a totally old, cheap console behind us.
Exactly.
Party speakers that...
Is it...
I don't know what those do.
What is a Neva? Or never...
It's something...
Never going to use it?
Yeah.
So,
yep. Never going to use it.
I have the worst dad jokes ever. So, sorry, everybody. So, yeah. I was like, well, you know what? Most of you guys that are watching probably have never had a chance to hear Dumble in this context where, like, you can tell Shawn what to play and he'll do it. So,
what?
Yeah, you know. So I figured, you know, this would be great. Like, we can do things that way. I have no idea. I just ruined this again. I don't know what I'm doing.
What the hell are you guys laughing at over there?
I forgot to tell everybody. So do all of the YouTube things that we're supposed to do, and you know, ring the bell and hit the likes. Are you bugging Shawn about something?
Yeah, they're messing with me on that.
Yeah, Shawn's looking for it because you pointed at the screen.
Yeah.
Manny's right here. You can tell us what's wrong, Manny. It's okay. You know how professional we are. Like, yeah, I should stop messing with stuff. Yeah. Boy, do we ever look stupid. Oh, there's a full screen thing? Is that what you're telling me?
No,
What, you want the headstock back in the shot?
no.
Oh.
What?
Oh. I don't know. They're pointing at something. Oh, you're pointing at the fact that the D25 is sitting behind Shawn and you don't want people to see it? Is that what you're saying? And then I just obviously pointed it out?
We don't know if you want people
Oh,
to see it. That's
yeah.
all.
Smash that like button. That's what I was supposed to say.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, the D25 combo, we're doing some messing around with it, doing R&D stuff here. So much for us keeping that quiet,
So
which we told you about like
my
months
fly's
ago.
not down then?
No, you're good.
Okay, because, all right.
I was like, what in the, like, why do they keep circling on the laptop? Like, what does he want? I don't understand. So, yeah, do us a favor, smash that like button, ring the bell, join the Rev Amplification community on Facebook. What else are we supposed to say? Watch this on Twitch, because apparently we stream it on Twitch and nobody watches there. I don't know what else. What else? Yeah, whatever. Tell us what gear you guys got this week. I got this. I got a couple of things, but I got this, and this is awesome. It needs a little bit of love because it's had a broken headstock before, and the repair is kind of not the best, but the neck profile is awesome. This is a 92 standard, and it feels exactly like my 91 standard. Sounds pretty good. I just got it. I had Luke pick it up for me at home, and then I had him ship it down here for me so that I could get one of my friends. Our good buddy Dan Blom at EB Rooster is gonna fix up whatever, less than stellar craftsmanship was done on this. There's like, just you can. I don't know if you guys can see that. I can't see anything. There. Can you see that? So where I'm gently caressing the headstock crack on my last one.
Put it in front of this.
Oh, you want me to do that? Oh, is that better? Oh, yeah, look at that. Look at this. If I go like this, out of the focus. Don't worry. So, anyway, it needs to be fixed. So, we'll get that done and get her back. I don't know. I might get it repainted, too. We were all debating that.
Oh, that's a good question for the chat.
Yeah, what do you guys think?
Gold top?
No, not gold top. Come on now. Don't be silly. I already have gold tops.
Pick guard?
No pick guard. Definitely not. That's the best part about it. If I get it repainted, I can have these holes filled and then get rid of that. And oh, yeah. It's getting me excited. Getting real excited.
Gonna ruin it.
Yeah. So I got that. I like it.
It's awesome. Yeah,
Shawn got a
actually,
Dumble.
It's a really good guitar. I got a Dumble.
Mm-hmm. You're sending it back, though, eh?
Yeah.
On the 30-day return policy, you're like, you know what? I liked my house more than this. So I'm going to go back to that.
Yeah, my wife had something to say about not being in a house anymore. So
Yeah, exactly.
I have to give it back.
You're like, well, on these cold nights when it's raining like this, we can turn it on and the tubes will warm
Tubes
us
get
up.
pretty warm.
Yeah,
Just
it'll
sit
be great.
close. Sit close to it.
Yeah. I mean, we can't turn it on in the rain, but it's a nice thought. So, yeah. So, what's everybody drinking tonight? It's gear and beer. Shawn picked us up drinks for tonight. So, it's a host of his either favorites or stuff that he was like, that looks like they'll drink it. So, this he got for me. It's the Disc Insider. It's not the same one as the real, but I was really excited when I thought it was. Made here in Nashville. It's a like cinnamon spice cider. It's pretty great.
Actually, yeah, and that's really good for making.
I don't know where you can see that. Here, put it on that one, eh? Want to do that? Want to do that right there? Oh yeah, great.
Turn it.
Beauty shot. Look at that, eh? Come on, just back into focus, and the lights are helping a lot. Oh yeah, there you go. And then I'll drop it on our pedal boards.
But no, I actually got hip to that because I was at a tap room, and I was having that as a snake bite with a stout.
What's a snake
it's
bite?
Killer. Just mixed beer and cider.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
it's really good.
I'm not up on all the new hip terms that the kids use.
But no, that's a really good one.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Manny and I are
Yeah. Are you guys drinking the same one or no? What are
New
you
Heights Naval Gazer. Yeah, man.
drinking? Oh yeah. Did you have the other one
Imperial
already, or
Stout.
you're saving that for later? Okay.
Yeah, well, that's where you got that barrel stout that happened here. Yeah, that'll be good too.
So yeah. So I'll try to read the comments as we go. It's a weird one today. So picked up a new Kramer figured SM1 Royal Purple. Should have it tomorrow. Yes.
Nice.
Yes. LR Bags Venue DI preamp pedal.
Oh man,
Nice.
I lived off of that when I was touring. Those things are awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that thought.
I like that thought.
I like that thought. The Dumble makes a great drink coaster. You know what, Justin? if I'm playing it, it might as well be a drink coaster. I can't play this amp to save my life, which is why Shawn's going to play it. It is the weirdest, like one of the weirdest amps that I've ever played, because you think it's going to be like super like creamy and saggy, because I think about the players that, at least that I know. I mean, I'm not big into like Larry Carlton and guys that you probably are that play them, but like I think about like SRV and guys that were using them, and I'm like, I don't associate any of their tone or any songs or anything they wrote with anything being like stiff. And this amp is very difficult to play and very stiff.
Yeah, I mean, all Dumbles are different. Like, this one is definitely not as forgiving as other Dumbles.
Yep.
It's it's a really nice sounding amp. I mean, I can't argue with how the tuner sounds.
I could argue with that.
You know.
All right, okay, I just have to add one thing to that. Hey, Manny, or Dorian, can you hold this? Can I see that for a second? I would just like you guys to note the difference between when Shawn plays it and when I do. So, yeah, okay.
Sounds better. Sounds fatter.
Sounds fatter.
Yeah.
Did you just call me fat on the live stream, dude?
Oh, jeez.
We went to Manel's for supper. I am so happy right now. If you guys don't know what Manel's is, let me plug all the things in Nashville that we've done today that are awesome. And when I say done today, I mean all the places we got food from. So Proper Bagel, kicks ass. Five Daughters Bakery, 100-layer donut. Go get you some of that. And then go to Manel's and hate your life. But yeah. Anyway, back to your comments about the Dumble.
No, that's
don't
it.
give a shit about me talking about food in Nashville. That should be what we do next, is we should do a podcast talking about food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. That'd be good.
Yeah, I think I am like definitely more qualified to talk about where to eat than how to play guitar. So,
Come on, man.
Okay. Oh yeah, there we go.
But yeah, it's like, it's just a different animal. You know, you have to dial it in, and like, that's pretty cool.
I see, I don't know if some people are asking about the signal chain, but I just saw that Manny answered about it. So just so you guys know what we're doing, I'm playing through the D20. I have one of our demo pedal boards that has an avalanche run from Earthquaker on it. I've got a G8, G2, 3, and 4, and a tilt, and a tuner. So that's my setup. Shawn has... Oh, and I'm going direct out of the D20 into the interface. With the Rev 4x12. Shawn is going, I don't know if the Klon's working, but he's got the gold Klon into the same board. So avalanche run, G2, 3, 4, tilt, G8, tuner. And then the Dumble is running into the same Rev 4x12 cabinet, like a real 4x12. You guys can't see it, but there's the isolation room is just beside us. And we've got a Royer 121 and an SM57 on the real 4x12 in there, and then I'm running the simulated version of that. So, yeah. So that's what our signal chain is. So, yeah.
Does the Klon work? Oh, is it a little...
Yeah, that's why I got it cheap. No. Oh. It's a battery.
I'll betcha.
Yeah. Because it's power issue.
Yep. It doesn't like it.
It does. It likes the Zuma.
Does it? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Derek,
Yeah.
can you ship me one of those whiskey coffees, dude? Oh yeah, yeah. Also, Barista Parlor in the
gosh,
morning
yeah.
for iced whiskey caramel coffees. Yes,
Yes,
it's
sir.
the best. Yeah. So that's it. So fire your questions away about what you guys want to hear from the Dumble. We'll kind of like go through a few things. Shawn, you were talking about like it, and I think you were getting to talking about it and pedals.
Well, yeah, I mean, to me, there's guys that use, like Joe Bonamassa will hit Dumbles, he'll push a Dumble a little bit harder, but not with a ton of gain. There's not a lot of cats that I can think of that would buy an amp like this and then run several overdrive pedals into it. I mean, I guess you could, but to me, I don't feel like, at least this one in particular, doesn't take pedals as well
Yeah.
when it's dialed clean. It's really one of those amps that wants to just be cranked and louder. The overdrive on it is not quite as creamy, but that's the thing. It's like all Dumbles are different. There's no one Dumble that I've played that's exactly like the other. But this is, it's a beautiful amp. It really is. But from like my perspective, it's maybe a little, just personally, it's just a little too kind of stiff in the way that it feels. And it's not quite as creamy. I mean, if I had it for longer, if I could sit with it for longer, I know I could get it dialed in better. But that being said, it's, these are the highly sought after.
Yeah, it's the holy grail.
It's like.
So I've had a chance to play 4 overdrive special heads. They are all different, and I would say that like this one is probably like tied as either 3rd or 4th best. So I wouldn't put it high up on the list by any means. I have to play 2 of Mark Tremonti's, and both of his are unbelievable. And he's got one in particular that is like, feel-wise, is the polar opposite of this. It's got just an incredible amount of sag.
It's got a little more sag to it.
Yeah.
It's more creamy. And the thing with Mark is he's just got incredible ears. Like the way he hears things and then describes what he's hearing.
Yep.
So no wonder he picked out a couple like crazy good ones.
Yeah, the one that he got it at some like it's not a gear flea market, but it was kind of like almost would be like one of the Nashville guitar shows, right? But it was I think he said it was in Orlando.
Yeah.
And it came with like all sorts of certifications and stuff from New York about, I don't know why it was amazing and why it was worth the insane price tag that was on it, but yeah. So they're amazing. But it's not an amp you just sit down and just go if you don't play them that much. It's like you have to dial them in, and you have to get used to. It's an amp that if you're having a bad day playing guitar, this amp's going to be less apt to help you. Yeah. What this amp is saying is, you play and I'll amplify. Yeah. And it'll be beautiful as long as you sound beautiful. Yes. If you don't, then it's not for me.
Yeah.
So, no, I think they sound cool.
Oh, they're great.
I remember the first time I played this one, we were here with Joey Landreth shooting a video for 2 Notes for the Torpedo Studio. And this one in particular is weird too, because for some reason it takes a long time to kind of warm up. And I have no idea why that is. But I remember Joey and I got it all hooked up. We started like playing, and we had the prototype of the Generator 740 Mark II at the time. And like the big difference between the Mark I and the Mark II 740s was that the crunch channel was kind of a little more separated from the clean channel a bit, and like that's when we changed to on the 740s it started glowing green, and it had a lot more gain and saturation on it, and just sounded and felt way thicker. And both of us were like, the 740 feels and sounds so much better than this. And like when we were first playing it, and we're like, we left after like half an hour to go pick up dinner. And like while we were standing in line to pick up our dinner, he just looks at me. He's like, "Do you feel like somebody like I don't know?" I'm like, "I mean, like somebody shot my dog." And he's like, "Yeah, like it's just not at all what you expected." And you have this moment of being like, kind of really bummed and like let down. And I was like, "Yeah, I don't get it, because that's not at all what I was expecting it to be." But to this amp's credit, when we came back, because we had left it on while we were gone, we came back. We were only gone like half an hour, so to pick up our dinner. We ate dinner and then plugged back in. Completely different how it feels. So
because I remember we had this out in the Atmos room here. Yeah. And same thing. We left it on for a good 3-4 hours, and it was a different amp. Yeah. Felt better. I had a little bit more sag to it, and I'm sure that's just part of like the magic that. Alex Dumble.
The hamster that's in there gets fed, and then by about 3 or 4 hours, it starts just giving her. So, all right, Bo's saying, let's hear that amp. Let's, Oh, and lots of people are asking, okay, sorry, just 1 second. Lots of people are asking about the Rev heads that are up there. Those are just the new, like, we're going to be doing, there'll be an option for, like, D20s and G20s if you want to get a Tolex head shell instead of the aluminum shell. that you'll be able to get those, and we brought them down here for one of the industry event things that we're doing this week. So, and I was just like, we should put them up there and see how many people notice. So thanks guys for noticing that we brought them out. So you guys like them? They look good. I mean, they're far enough away you can't tell if they look good or bad. Like,
Yeah, they look like amps.
yeah. All right, so
Like amps on a tower.
what speaker have we found to pair with the Dumble? We have Rev 4x12 that has 2 vintage 30s and 2 creambacks in it, I believe.
Yeah, and once again, in Dumble's defense, in general, it's usually an EV12L that these are played through, which is a much flatter speaker in response. And it's to me, an EV, you guys can chime in the comments, but to me, an EV12L is another perfect example of what you put into is exactly what's going to come out. So with like a Selly combination, it's definitely going to sound different. I would love to actually hear this with like a 1x12 or 2x12 with 2 EV12Ls in it, just to see, or even just a 1x12 open back with a 12L. It'd probably be a completely different animal.
Yeah. I mean, that's not something that we've talked about a lot on Gear and Beer, that like, if you want to change the characteristic of your amp in a massive way, change your speakers, and you're going to get all sorts of new sounds, good or bad.
Yeah, and well, not only tonality, but the feel's going to be different. Everything's going to be different.
Yeah.
Just the way the transformer feels, into a, like say, a 20-watt greenback, or all the way up to a 65-watt creamback, or maybe an Eminence or a Weber or whatever it may end up being, EV12L. The amp's going to respond differently just in the way it feels, and on top of that, the sonic difference is going to be dramatic.
Yeah, I'd love to know what speakers you guys are running at home and with what amps. So tell us in the comment section kind of what you guys are doing. I've never gotten along with greenbacks. I don't know why. Probably because I've always tried to play like pretty like modern high gain stuff, and it just, I've owned Marshall cabs with them and I've hated every one of them that I've owned. Love to know what you guys think.
Well, and greenbacks feel softer too, and they're a little bit more papery on the mic.
Okay.
There's so much to it, because for me, there's speakers that I love in the room, and I hate that same speaker on the mic. And then there's speakers I really love on the mic, and I'm like, I just don't like playing this in the room.
Yeah.
So it's such a to each his own kind of deal. Like, I love a Creamback 65 in the room. I think it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But on the mic, I gravitate right back to a V30.
Right. Yeah, I just remember having a Marshall with greenbacks, and I was just like, I can't get rid of this thing fast enough.
Yeah, too squishy, and
I found it brittle.
yeah.
Like,
it's like
the top end is weird, and I'm like, well, no thanks. I like rectos and like big bottom end. Yeah. Yeah. So nice. All right. Greenback and V30 combination from Kyle. Nice.
Yeah, the
All right.
combination is actually really nice, because for me, if I was doing that combo, I'd put Royer on the Creamback for sure, and then I'd do the 57 on the V30.
Why didn't you do that tonight, Manny? Where's the where's the Manny, like, Manny messed up? Come
sorry,
on.
we only have a Luke messed up one.
So we'll do that. Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Luke, why didn't you put the mic on the cabinet?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, Manny. When we mic'd up, it might be on just the Creamback 65. On that side, it probably is. Yeah, so the way it's mic'd is Royer 57. The 57's right on the dust cover. Royer's dead center on the cone.
Nice. Oh, and for for anybody commenting, if you guys are on Facebook, I won't be able to see your comments just because I can only watch one of the feeds, and it's YouTube. So if you want to make a comment and you're on Facebook, just head over to YouTube and make your comments there. Yeah. So, man, let's hear it.
So yeah, I mean, for me, this is how I would most likely play this amp. And then if I were to add overdrive to it, it would be kind of minimal. So for me, like my immediate, you know, what I would do with this amp, because the way it sees pedals, it can be a little bit more super glassy up top. So when I'm playing rhythm stuff, instinctually, I'll leave it wide open, but when I go to, you know, play single note lines, I'll roll the tone back. That's just out of playing, you know, guitar for a really long time. Like right when I did that, I was like, oh, that's very instinctual to
So
roll
you
the tone
use
back.
those on your guitar?
I absolutely do, yeah. Unless I'm demoing. If I'm doing like a demo video, I would never do that. But, you know, when I'm getting sounds and like on the fly realizing, okay, that's a little too much glass for me, at least in the in-ears. I don't know how it's sounding for you guys. Instead of reaching for anything, I just reach for my tone control. But yeah, that's a start. I mean, I can mess around with the overdrive channel too.
Yeah, Andy wanted to know how much drive does that have on its own. And MIT Mahoney, yeah, he's the dude who sold me this guitar. And coincidentally, he's the guy who traded me the Platinum. It's a standard 22. I thought it was a custom 22. Standard 22, the Platinum PRS that we have back at the shop. And he was texting back and forth with me laughing about the fact that he watched some of our live streams where I essentially said, I'm like, yeah, the guy was dumb for trading me because that SG sucked. I mean, to be fair, I hate SG. So,
yeah, so well, it wasn't so much him. It was just, yeah, you're not an SG fan.
Yeah.
Okay, so gain?
Yeah. It'll bark.
Oh, yeah. So there's a, you know, overdrive section, and then there's a boost on top of that. So yeah, not a ton. I mean, there's a ton of gain there, but once again, it's not really, you know, that's not really how you would, at least I wouldn't dial that much gain. And sorry about the noise. I'm sitting super close to this amp, so there's going to be some transformer noise, but let's see if I can get that going. Go this way, this way, this. You go that way. It's a little bright, but
Let me borrow that cable.
try the LP. Don't change anything.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
That's right.
Don't touch nothing.
Well, sir.
Rock and roll is about to happen.
Yep. It won't do that.
It might. There we go.
There you go, Sam. Sounds like to me is it sounds like heavy country bands.
Okay.
Like when you hear like Jason Aldean style, like
Yeah.
what's that?
Whiskey metal.
Whiskey metal. Him.
I like it. I like it better with you playing it.
Yeah, me too.
Those pickups are way hotter than these. So
Try your R9.
pickups are quite a bit hotter.
Tilt, kick on the boost side of the tilt.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So you can see how I have it, you know. It's easier for me, too, to dial an amp while someone else is playing it, you know. Boy, I hope these don't take off. One way to find out. Close enough. Close enough for jazz.
yeah. I got one trick I stole from Sam, and you had to do it better. Dick.
I got it right just the one time. But no, like for this, I mean, that's good, man.
Yeah. Playing there, it really reminded me of like thick, whole lot of love style, like the. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. So
Yeah.
that's it's a there's gain on tap for sure. What's that? What happens if I go back to just dead? Dead, that's clean.
Yeah.
Turn all this stuff back on.
All the pretty stuff.
That sounded better.
Yeah.
Feels good too.
Yeah, it's weird that like after it's been on for a while that it like. Do you think that it losing my train of thought. Do you think that it's warming up and there's more sag in it, or do you think that your hands adjust and you adjust to the fact that it's stiffer?
Well, it's both things, because I'm not a mass electrolytics dude, but there's got to be something to the components getting up to temperature that especially on things that are more vintage, even like a Neve console, all that kind of stuff. I think that's got to have a lot to do with it. In this case, I think Les Paul style guitars are just sounding better through it. And
right.
Especially just dialing it, it's almost accidentally better if that sounds right, because we dialed it to get like this crunch sound that was killer, but now going back to the clean, it's actually really sweet. And then if I still want to add like a little bit from the tilt, so now you got this beautiful neck position tone.
Yeah. That's what a tilt does. Tilt makes your Dumble sound good. So if you don't have a tilt, I mean, you're definitely missing out. You need to get one. Go on, get you some.
That's a good way to use it.
The tilt with a Dumble? I agree.
But, if I needed to get to, like, this is a good tone.
Yeah.
But if I didn't want to touch anything in my tone stack, just turn that on. And now I'm sitting in the mix.
Yeah. Sounds awesome.
Yeah, that sounds great. Fixed.
Yeah.
We fixed the Dumble.
Exactly.
We totally fixed that thing.
Just take like some Velcro while we're here. Like we'll get some dual lock and just stick a tilt to the side of it and be like, hey.
No, man. That sounds good.
Oh, okay. Kyle just commented. Yeah. Apparently the free shipping thing is still on today. So if you guys don't have a tilt, go on, get you one. Or a Mauler. Mm-hmm. Or what else do we sell?
Dumble.
We sell, we're going to sell this Dumble later tonight. It's our last day at Blackbird ever.
I mean, John's got a lot of stuff, right,
yeah.
Steve? He wouldn't, like, how long would it take?
How much do we have to give you? Like, to be like, I don't know what happened. 15%. 50. That's actually not bad. I'll probably do that, Prison doesn't seem that bad. 3 square meals a day, work out a lot, get to read all I want, time to myself. So, Chernobyl's asked what we're drinking today. I'm drinking the Diskin cider that Shawn got me, local Nashville cider. It's like kind of apple cinnamony, mostly cinnamony. Yeah, it's good. I like it.
Yeah, I got New Heights. It's called Navel Gazer. It's actually a, let's see. I don't know.
It's very rock and roll with the skeleton on it.
Yeah. It's actually an imperial stout, and it is delish.
Yeah.
It's a Nashville brewery.
How about you?
Manny nods in approval.
Yeah.
What you got back there, Steve? Did you get something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm drinking the whiskey barrel.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Dorian, what are you drinking there, bud? Ooh. He's got the high quality H20 Pure Life. Nice. Dorian had a rough start to our week here. His kid's sick at home, and he's like, "Hi, you know what? I'm taking her cool. I can't afford that bug." So, yeah. Daniel Jose Verde says that Shawn probably sounds like that on a Line 6 Spider. You know, it's true. Like, jokes aside, I mean, like, I find that with anybody who's been playing guitar for a long time, whether you're, you know, as proficient at it as Shawn, or whether you're like kind of more middle of the road players. Like, I consider myself a very middle of the road player, and not in a self-deprecating way. I just that's where I feel like I sit. But I do feel like it doesn't matter who you are. If you've been playing guitar long enough, no matter what you plug into, you find your sound and your hands translate through that. So for, you know, I know like Fricker and a lot of YouTubers, you know, rag on the like tone is not in the hands, and I think voicing is not in the hands, but I think tone is, and I think that like dynamics and stuff like that, and you know, everything from pick attack, everything, like, it doesn't matter what amp I plug into or what guitar I'm using, you're gonna hear, you know, you're gonna hear those things that sound, you know, inherently like me. It has everything to do with my hands and less to do with the gear I'm playing in. And what I find I always do, and I was doing it earlier when I got to play the Dumble a bit, I start, like, I have that sound that I really love. I mean, that tone that I love is that green channel crunch type tone, or the, you know, the push pull on the D20 engaged, and then the tilt on gets me really close to that same sound. And I go searching for that sound in every amp I play. And once I find it, it really then, to me, just becomes about how does it feel now that I've found that sound. So, you know.
Well, I'm in agreement with that. I mean, I was talking with a cat that I like highly revere. We were having a conversation about the tones in your hands, and that was kind of how I felt about it. It's like, well, yeah, you can sound, any guitar player who's been playing for a minute can sound like them pretty much through everything, but what the measure is the degree of struggle it took to still sound like you playing through a certain product. So for me,
you can say piece of shit. It's okay.
Well, no, but a lot of products aren't. A lot of products are great, but for me, it's not a fit. But I can do things to still sound like me.
Yeah.
And no one will know how much of a struggle that was. So the products that I gravitate towards for me are the products that weren't a struggle at all.
Yeah.
To sound like me. You know?
That's my problem with modeling. Like, you know, or what. I'm not saying it's the problem with modeling. That's my problem with modeling, is that to me, every time I play a Kemper or the Helix, it's so fast that, like, dynamically I have a problem adjusting how I play to compensate for it.
I see what you mean. Yeah, do you feel like it's not like broadband enough dynamically to cat? Yeah.
It's kind of like, I'm probably getting a ton of shit for this too, but like, it's kind of like why I don't play the 060 at our office very often. Like the Aristides. Like, Sam sounds phenomenal through the Aristides. I find them so hi-fi that it trips up how I play, because I change how I mute. I change everything, trying to get it to sound like a Telly or a Paul or my Schecter, right? And I find, exactly like you just said, I gravitate towards the tools that are gonna have me sound like me in the most comfortable way, where it's the least amount of thinking that I have to do with it.
You don't want to have to struggle, and that's the thing. It's like I'll never slag, you know, because I think modeling is getting better and better and better.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, there's a dynamic range there that I still feel is, you know, at some point it'll be there. But for me right now, that's my struggle with, you know, just using strictly a modeler. And you've heard me talk about where if I'm going to model, I'm going to model on the back end, but I still want to play through glass. I still want the dynamics. I still want the response, because I still think that's the most difficult thing to truly capture digitally. It is getting better.
Yep.
So I don't ever want someone thinking, oh, you know, Kempers are terrible, or Fractals, or you know, any of that stuff. It's all really, really good stuff. But me personally, I want more dynamics, you know.
Question for everybody. How many of you guys are using XFX? Specifically XFX?
And I did a whole tour with them.
Yeah. I think I've played through one once, and I think it was XFX 2. if I remember correctly. Did Axifx 2 have the? It didn't have the like fancy screen on it, right? Like it still had the like.
Yeah, because I think ours were when I went out. That was 2017. Those were Axifx 2 pluses.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought it was either like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were fine, but that they did sound really good. But that was the one thing I just didn't feel like the input dynamics were quite. It just didn't feel as good, you know.
The reason I asked about the Axifx is we finally, well, let me rephrase that. I finally got my shit together and we got the Gen 120 sent off to Cliff over at Axifx. So in a matter of time,
that's been a minute.
The generator models will show up in the Axifx. I have no idea.
And I will
how long
say,
it'll take, but
I mean, this is just personal opinion, so nobody come at me. It's just my opinion. I prefer the Axifx. I prefer Fractal over Kemper.
you heard it here, folks. Hot takes from Shawn Tubbs. Said Kemper's shit. Can we edit that? Oh, it's live? We can't edit that to make it sound like he said no. Okay, no. I actually liked the Kemper when I had it. I just found that I had option paralysis with it because a guy that I got it from had like 400 different profiles loaded in it, and I was just like, I mean, everybody that works at Rev will attest to this, that ever's around me when I have, and I mean, lots of guys that watch this know this about me, that like I get a pedal or something and I find like one sound that I like, and then that's what I use it for, and then I never learn how the pedal actually works and like how to tweak things. Like we were working with a great guitar player named Stu G.
Yeah.
That's what we're actually doing down here, in case people are wondering. So we're working with Stu, and we're capturing a bunch of his really, really great cabinets, and then like combo amps where we're just capturing the cabinets in order to have some really cool and different flavors for the D20 available as Dyne IRs. So we did like a 62 Vox AC30, 76 Park 50 watt, a 90s reissue of a Blues Breaker.
This cabinet?
Yeah, this third power cabinet that's his signature cabinet that actually has WGS Retro 30s in it. Some really cool stuff that sound really great. So we're capturing them here the last couple of days, and yeah, it.
Well, that was the thing. Just listening to Stu play, you know, he brought one of his pedal boards, and that cat knows how to dial.
Yeah.
All that stuff. All the crazy good at all the expression control.
Yeah.
I mean, just the range that he went through, just sitting and just noodling, and it just sounded. But yeah, that's the thing. I was listening to him going, man, I don't know that gear like he knows that gear.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
sick, some of the stuff that he was coming up with. I don't spend that kind of time either.
No,
you know?
learning all the time to dial that in. I mean, I learned that my H9 that I've had since 2017 had an app that could control it and make it cooler.
Wait, I can use my phone with this?
Yeah. What? You mean I can actually adjust how these things sound rather than just scrolling through that preset and playing it?
Yeah.
And I don't even know how that hot knob function thing works or what it does. So for me, I'm a really big fan of like, oh, there's knobs there that I can just easily turn, and I understand, you know, what an EQ, you know, is and will do. Same with on an amp. Like, I can just turn this if I don't like how much gain there is or how bright it is. And I like that a whole lot more than...
Well, I will say, though, option paralysis-wise, the Kemper for me was easier to just dial. I could see, like, oh, this is basically an amp. Whereas with the Fractal, it was like page. There's a treble. You know, there were certain things about it where it was like, okay, this is a little... But once again, just like dynamically, I just felt better playing the Fractal.
I also felt like on the Kemper, on the 120, and I mean, that's really what I'm comparing everything to. On the 120, the EQ for each channel is designed completely, I shouldn't say completely different. Like channel 3 and channel 4 are more similar, but like channel 1 and channel 2 EQs are nothing like channel 3 and channel 4. So I feel like the Kemper like kind of overlays its EQ if you want to change anything over top of that, you know, snapshot of or like the profile. And I always felt like as soon as I started adjusting low end or top end, everything on the profile got really weird really fast. Yeah. And I'm like, this doesn't react the way that I'm used to. And it's because I'm, you know, because I'm stubborn and I like, you know, like what I like, and I'm fortunate enough to have a lot of amps that I can mess with. And yeah, so I haven't tried the Quad Vortex. I've heard it's amazing.
Yeah, I have yet to try one. I'm sure it's great.
Do a couple of our guys have one, or just Brad?
I think just Brad.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've heard
Brad's
they're
got
awesome.
one and loves it. So,
But
yeah.
speaking of like option paralysis, like of all the amps I could use on the Fractal on tour, I used a divided by 13 for all the cleans, FTR 37, and I used a Friedman. I forget which one it was. Probably just one of the Friedman heads. Loved it for all the gain.
Yeah, like
And
a BE or something.
It was but they didn't call it that. But it
Yeah.
was and I just had one boost that I would turn on.
It was like the derp, the Friedman derp. Like, we don't know what it's called. Derp.
The Derpal. Yeah.
Dylan, absolutely. Tone is in the hands, and no, you don't need to buy a Rev amp. You're good. stick with your Gorilla, or your Line 6, or whatever it is, and you'll be good. I don't know. I think that because you guys all asked what my thoughts were on this, I think part of the problem is there's a lot of people that get confused about what tone is, and I'm not saying I have the definition of tone down, but I think there are a lot of people that think that tone is specifically just exactly, this sound, like here is the tone. It's just that raw sound, whatever it is. If you could take that, take a profile of it and put it in a Kemper or whatever, like that's the tone. To me, that's not what I consider tone. What I consider tone is like all of that. So the dynamics of like when I dig in, how does it respond? All of that stuff is what I consider tone. And I might be completely wrong on that, but that's how I've always looked at it, is that it's kind of a combination of, yeah.
I don't know. It's funny for me. It's like tone is like, well, are you smiling? Then that's
Oh,
tone.
yeah. Well, that's what good
That's
tone,
tone,
is.
baby. If you're smiling.
But I
that's
just mean
tone.
the definition, like when you see people like record it and then compare the like wave forms.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, that's not it. Like, and that's why I say tone is in the hands, because it's like its dynamics to me are part of tone. It's not like what they consider tone is what I consider voice. Like this raw, like balls out, that's voice to me. And yeah, that voice, you can snapshot that, you can put it in any modeler, and when I hit that the same way, it's going to sound exactly the same. You know what I mean? And that's cool. But again, like Shawn said, if it's not putting a smile on my face because when I go to do that, I got to adjust how I play, that's what I don't like. And that's my only argument against, I shouldn't say against modeling. That's the reason I don't use modeling. It's not even so much because, I'm involved at Rev. It's, yeah, even if I wasn't involved at Rev, I would still be using other amps.
It's
because
personal preference, man. It's,
yeah, and I'm fortunate that I'm not touring, so like I can just pick and choose whatever I want, because I don't have to worry about lugging it all over the country and how much that costs and if it's going to break or any of that. Like,
well, and on that note too, I'll catch guys playing through all modeling, and man, they are killing it. And what I'm hearing sounds insane, so gratifying. So that's the thing. It's like if you're smiling, then it's probably the tone that you're digging.
yeah. Oh man, we got Vokdals. I don't know how to say that, dude. Greetings from Russia. Greetings, dude.
Oh, right on.
What time is it in Russia? Lucas Belinsky. Any word on the new Dynamis Mark II? No. I don't, what?
Aw.
You guys should stop giving Fricker amps. This whole campaign against tone is making kids buy amps less from you. Like Glenn's a great friend of ours, and honestly, I don't think we've ever given Glenn an amp. I think we might have traded him for his Mark III. Like we may have taken one of his other amps back, but I don't even know. I don't even know if that's it. I think Glenn has bought pretty much every amp from us. And Glenn's been a good friend of mine since like 2015. I'd say he's got some pretty hot takes because some of them are pretty clickbaity. And secondly, I think that Glenn would say everything that I just said about hands and dynamics is irrelevant because most of the sounds that Glenn's recording to me, don't have a lot of they don't have a lot of dynamics when it comes to like how hard or how soft you're digging in and what that does to a note and whether or not it blooms or sags or what it does. He's definitely recording a lot of metal where, you know, the dynamics are in how percussive it is, and in that case, I mean, yeah, I mean, you can use whatever. Yeah. So, plastic tubes don't feel the same. Correct. They don't.
Silicon tubes are different.
G-Man Music, any plans of making a Rev Synergy module? Yeah, we've talked about it with boutique amps a lot. I think it's just a matter of when we have time and they have time. We have a lot of projects on the go right now that it's just not, it's just not high on the priority list right now. So here, you know, why don't you give them a little more taste of that Dumble? I'm going to walk in front of the cameras and just grab something and then, you know, yeah. Shawn will play. Oh, hey, look, Manny, I'm smart enough to unplug that.
You know, clothesline yourself.
We don't have wireless in-ear stuff today like we normally do at home, so. We have no clue about the new Dynamis. Cheers.
Was that just like your crotch in the front of the camera?
Yeah.
And that was
Exactly.
pretty much all that just happened?
The Dino Mouse.
Dino Mouse. It's dynamite.
Yeah. So, for those of you wondering, I'm not going to show it to you today because it still needs some more. Still needs some more work. That's part of what we're doing here is working with Shawn, doing R&D stuff, and it should be ready by NAMM. We're hoping. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, if you got a quick look, that's it. So, how long must you wait, Devin? NAMM, April. It should be out. Yeah. Is there a chance that there's a 50-watt generator or other amps in the works? I'd buy that in a heartbeat. Heartbeat. Boy, I can't say English words out of my face hole in a heartbeat. I have had part of one beer.
It's
Doing
just
great.
a cider, man.
I know, it's not even beer. Yeah, the replacement for the Generator 740 Mark II is coming. It is like, I don't know when. I don't even know if I can say what stage of the process we're at. Far along, like, I would think it's this year. I'm not like 90% sure it's this year. I'm 99% sure it's not for April NAMM. Pretty sure this year NAMM will be the Dynamis and the new combo, like the D25, and then some other things that I won't tell you about right now. But there'll be a few things in, a few things in April.
Yeah.
Who wants to go to the show? Anybody going? You know? You going?
I'm pretty sure I'm going.
Yeah, I think you're going.
Yeah.
Pretty sure you're
As far
going to
as
have
I
to
know,
go.
I'm going.
Yeah. No offense to Glenn, but he's primarily metal, hot pickups and lots of gain. Yeah.
But that's a sound. That's a thing, you know.
Steve Rezer, any new Rev pedals in the works? Maybe a reverb I will buy. There's definitely Rev pedals in the works. I won't tell you guys anything more than there are several Rev pedals in the works. So you guys will get to see what they are when they come out. I'm sure I'll do something stupid like have one of them on here before it's launched, like the other products that we tell
like
you guys
what's
about.
happening right now.
Yeah.
Oopsie.
Eric Hernandez, I'd love to go to NAMM, but I don't have a pass to get in. Send me an email, derek@revamps.com. I've got some extra badges, I think. NAMM always gives us a handful of extra ones. And anybody who asked me for a badge before, I just haven't submitted the list yet. You don't worry. If you emailed me, you're already on that list. So yeah. Shawn, the 1 year I can't go to NAMM, you're going. Dude,
Aw. Who's that?
too bad. What's up in Search of Tone? How's your tone search going? Good? How does one get into NAMM? You have to know somebody who's a NAMM member, or mainly you have to know somebody who's an exhibitor, most likely, and
Or if you're a linebacker, just
Oh, you know what? That's not true. I'm pretty sure I saw this year that they're letting people buy badges to get into NAMM, but it is crazy expensive. Like, I heard somebody say that it was like 300 and some or $400.
What? Well,
Yeah.
Wow. No, just go to Disney.
And-
That's
Yeah,
right,
I
it's
would
right across the street, man.
I would say, like, before I was involved in the industry, if you had told me I had to pay $300 or $400 to get into NAMM, and it was pre-pandemic NAMM, I'd have paid it.
You think? Yeah.
Wow. I mean, truth be told, I remember, like, because I have a printing company, I remember printing like at least $200 or $300 worth of shirts for a company to get it back. Well, I got 2 badges, but to get a couple badges into NAMM as a tourist.
Oh wow. Okay.
And that was well worth it for me. So I think if you're just a gear fan and you can't get in, I mean, you've been around it your whole life, so you're like, wow, man, I hate that. You're like, I hate everything about the big like LA NAMM show. It's
I
overwhelming.
mean,
and it's a
I
lot
like
of
seeing
fun.
friends and stuff, but
Yeah.
for me, it's a lot of just sensory input. You know.
Yeah, yeah. You're quite a bit more introverted than I am, so I don't mind. Like, I shouldn't say it. I love it. I love the show. I can't wait for it to return to what it was. I mean, it was fun in June. I can't wait for them to. Yeah.
Have it
Can't
go
wait.
back to what
Yeah.
it was. Yeah. Because what it was crazy. It was definitely.
Next January, man. It's final. This year it's April. Next year it goes back to January. And somebody besides me just tell Fender and PRS and Gibson to get their asses back to the show and let's have like more fun big shows again, like what we used to have. And NAMM, smarten up and stop charging us out the ass to have a booth so that it makes it worthwhile for everybody. Yes.
You heard it here.
That's right. Go ahead, screen cap that and send it to your local NAMM rep. Stop overcharging everybody. Tell the convention center. Man, they tried to charge us this year. I'm going to bitch about that. Freeman at convention center. So we pay like, you guys will love this. This is why companies hate NAMM. To get a 20 amp circuit, like single phase 20 amp drop to power our booth for the weekend is $400 roughly, like $350, $400. It's robbery. Like they literally take an extension cord, plug it into a quad box, and charge us $400. So because they had so few booths this June, they had to drop the electrical for our booth from the ceiling. And I mean that's where they all come from anyway. But they had to bring in a skyjack or like a scissor lift and drop it down. And they tried to charge me $1,200 for it then later. And I was like, I emailed them like, no. I'm like, see this thing where I paid $350 or whatever it is? That's what I'm going to pay. And like, that's why companies hate NAMM, because it's just like,
That's
yeah. And every
ridiculous,
piece of gear you bring in potentially will cost you 50 cents per pound of everything, not just gear, like whatever your booth is, 50 cents per pound of whatever you bring in. And when it goes out, it's 75 cents a pound to go out because they charge you like time and a half because it goes out on a Sunday. So, or goes out on a holiday normally. So that's why, and I mean, our booth weighs, I should be careful what I say. Our booth weighs several thousand pounds and you get several thousand pounds for free, but depending on the size of the booth you do. So that's why companies hate NAMM. It's all the, you know, I'm not ragging on unions, but it's a lot of the like union labor that you're, you know, forced to hire because you can't do things yourself. But NAMM's always been like, apart from them trying, or it wasn't NAMM, that's Freeman that runs the convention center labor. They've always been pretty good to us. So, yeah, but it's still pretty expensive. Like if you were a small company, like when we started, I mean, we were losing tens of thousands of dollars every year that we went to NAMM, like 30, 40 grand a year at least, like for like at least 5 years straight to get our asses from Canada down there and stay down there and deal with all that shit. So, you know, yeah. Ask Shawn to tell us a bit about some of his recent and future projects.
I'm trying to, honestly, I'm trying to force myself to do a record. And there's powers around me that are like kind of pushing me into that are friends of mine and people that I know. So, you know, that's on the horizon, that could happen. But in the meantime, you know, I'm still just doing my demo channel. I do take sessions, but normally just remote. But yeah, I guess that would be the big thing is I know I need to do a record, not to make money, you know. And I think that's been why I haven't done a record. Is I feel like, well, man, if I put all this money into a record and I don't get a return on it, then, you know, why do it? Who cares? You know. But in this case, I'm realizing I just need to do a record for me. So at some point, I need to do that. I don't have a timeline on it, but like I said, the universe is kind of aligning itself to maybe point me in that direction. I've got really sweet friends that are just kind of rallying around me. So we'll see. But that's, yeah, so far that's that. The rest of it, like I said, just my demo channel, you know, working for Rev, really excited to be involved with the new products and the R&D and the tweaking and the tones and working with such a great amp builder like Dan, so that's been cool. So yeah, that's what's going on so far.
You did good, son. You did good.
Right there.
Yeah. No. You heard it here first. Shawn is available for all your session needs. Going rate's actually pretty good. I heard he was doing it for like $25 a track. So just, you know, his email is Shawn@revamps.com. Just load him up with all your ideas and he's on it. You know what? Like,
send it.
Yeah. Oh, just send it.
Whiskey barrel.
That's what Shawn's doing. Is there anything that's not IPA that's beer? I'll have another cider thing later.
Oh, well, do you want beer? To do that, I'll have the Diskin. That's a different cider, by the way.
Oh yeah, I see that. I'm gonna have that pineapple cider.
Okay. I literally got that because of you. I would never get.
I
a
appreciate that.
cider.
Let's see what goes on here. Let's go. Oh yeah, let's go. Smells like pizza.
I was like, man, if this.
It's perfect. Can we get some arguments going in the comment section? What, pineapple on pizza, yeah or
Oh
nay?
hell no.
Oh, get out of here, douche. Come on. What's up? Oh, you're from He's
Long Island.
Long Island, right?
Yeah.
So pineapple doesn't belong on pizza, does it?
I'm not
Careful. Choose your words carefully.
I'm really not a pineapple hater. People put too much on it, though. I will say.
All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. I feel like this is going to be the new pickguard thing, Shawn. It's you know,
I'm every
no
bit as,
pickguards, and you know what? It should be all pineapple. Come on, let's go.
I'm every bit as adamant about pickguards as I am about pineapple on pizza. Just don't. No pineapple on the pizza. Don't ever take a pickguard off the guitar. I know that's confusing,
Nice,
but I
yeah.
wanted to make sure I clarified.
Nice. Nice.
Listen to what I'm saying and understand what I haven't made a point about.
Dylan asked when I'm going to put out a record, Derek and the Bods. You know what? Sammy and I have been working on it for 3 years, but my timing's real bad. So, you know, and I'm insistent that I only play on the records. I can tell when he replaces my parts. He did it twice, and I wasn't happy. Will you hit Guitar Summit or 42 Gear Street? Man, Scott, that's a long way off. Shawn and Travis did Guitar Summit this year. I have no idea. 42 Gear Street for me is almost guaranteed to be no, just because, I mean, it's in August, and like where I'm from, you get like, okay, not even making fun of us, we get like 3 good months of summer where like it's nice enough to be swimming in at the lake and stuff, and I've got, you know, 4 kids that I just can't justify taking off to Germany for a week of that time. It's just, it ain't happening. So tell Henning, stop being an idiot. Move it to like October or May. Well, not May actually. Yeah, move it to October or November, and I'll maybe come. But Guitar Summit, I would. Yeah, even September for Guitar Summit's okay. Like it's starting to get cold enough that it's, you know, it's not too hard to.
It wasn't bad when we were out there. I mean, it was cold, but it wasn't like unbearable.
Oh, I mean in Canada. It's starting to get cold enough that I don't mind taking off. But yeah. That's my family time. I don't get a lot of it, so that's my yeah. Stan, what's up, Stan? Stan plays drums at church. You know, in the years that I play there, like the twice a year that I get out. 3 months, more like 3 good weeks. I mean, we get 3 acceptable months. You would find it cold, but
yeah, I would think it was cold.
Yeah. Somebody was asking about you and Sessions. I saw here. Lonely Rocker put pineapple on pizzas like ketchup on eggs. All right, let's start that argument. What do you guys feel about ketchup on eggs?
That's like
sauce on eggs.
Oh.
No, yeah, but like
hot sauce on eggs.
Yeah, but like a
course.
Denver sandwich. Yeah. How do you not have ketchup with a Denver sandwich?
Oh,
Yes. Salt, pepper, ketchup, man.
Yeah. See. Come on now. I don't. You're over it, eh, Shawn? L. Scott Music said, I've been trying to connect to get you to do a remote session. Are you only working with labels, Shawn?
What? How have you been trying to connect other than?
Dude, legit, just email me if you can't reach Shawn, and I'll connect you to him through his Rev email.
Yeah, I honestly, if you went through like my Squarespace account, like my web page or something, I do. Those get messed up. So yeah, if you've been reaching out, sorry, I didn't. Yeah, I haven't. I honestly haven't seen that.
In Search of Tone says, hot sauce, yes. Ketchup only goes in the garbage.
Nice.
I live in Colorado. What the hell is a Denver sandwich? You guys don't know what a Denver sandwich is? Yeah. Hey, put my email in there so that guy can email me, or just put Shawn's. It's really hard to.
Shawn at Rev, yeah.
Yeah, Shawn at Rev. Gary Patrick, Shawn, hey bud, how is the world
Gary!
of remote sessions in Nashville these days, and would you entertain the thought of live work at some point?
That's another thing I want. Gary, how are you, man? Okay, so Gary Patrick, man, I go way back with that cat, and he is crazy talented. Sings like, oh man, can that guy sing?
Whoa.
He's a great guitar player. I've known Gary a long time.
This is awesome.
You like it better? It's because it's pineapple.
Yeah. No, dude, that's awesome.
Derek likes pineapple.
I do, dude. I told you when you went to Disney, like the one thing to do was to get Dole Whip, like pineapple Dole Whip.
And
like,
I did do that, and it's delicious.
Awesome.
It is gratifying.
See?
Okay, so Gary, dude.
Yeah. Sorry, Gary.
Anyways,
Sorry, Gary.
sorry, Gary. Yeah, Gary's the best. He's killer. But remote sessions in Nashville, I would say the majority of the remote sessions I get are not Nashville. It's outside. It's L.A. I would say in Nashville you do get remote sessions, but if you're in Nashville and you want to do sessions, the remote sessions are there. But in my opinion, you can definitely jump into especially demo sessions and things like that, and then work your way up. I always tell cats that want to come out this way and do that, it's like, yeah, there's a ton of players, but at the end of the day, there's always room for somebody. If you put yourself out there, somebody will put you to work. It may not always be your favorite work, but as far as I'm concerned, yeah, I've kind of, at least for now, I've kind of checked out of doing a lot of live tracking, just demons and dragons that I'm dealing with. But remote sessions I'll still do. And one of these days, like if I do a record, that will be the catalyst that forces me to, drag my butt out of the house and onto a stage and perform. But Gary, it's great to hear from you, man. I hope you're doing well. Gary's a great cat. Wow, what a good dude.
In Search of Tone asks, hey, so can I get my info straight? Or so I can get my info straight. Are signed tilt pedals still being sold through Shawn's site? Yeah, we had Shawn sign a few more when he came up for our Christmas party, so there's a few more on there. So if you order a pedal through his site, you'll get a signed one. Yeah. Robert is asking, are remote sessions union gigs?
No. Nope.
Nope. Just flat rates.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's sessions that would be considered on the card, but for the most part, like remote sessions, yeah, it's not really something, if you're doing TV, things like that, and there are certain things that are going to be union sessions, but no, remote-wise, nah, that's not on the card.
Does that just mean it's union scale?
Is that what he means?
Is that what he's meaning?
I mean, remote sessions aren't necessarily union scale. Usually remote sessions are you kind of work with the client or whoever.
Yeah, you set the
and
price.
you kind of set the price. There's no real union scale, if that's what you mean. I misunderstood. If you meant, are they union like on the card? It's like, no, but I wouldn't say they're union scale.
Yeah, what is union scale? Do you know?
I know Steve would probably know.
Do you know union scale? Oh, wow.
I can't remember.
Steve.
Honestly,
Tons of help tonight, bud.
I can't remember
I
what.
had you had one job, man.
I mean, you could probably, Google it.
Yeah,
You'll find it. But yeah, there's all kinds of different scales for like demo scale, and then there's master scale if you're working on an actual record that's going to be on the radio. There's different levels of scale. I can remember that double scale, and this was back when I was doing TV in LA, but that would have been back in the day. But double scale for 3 hours was $900.
Nice.
And if you went 1 minute into that next 3 hours, you got another $900. That was considered. So, but I don't know what it would be now, but that was TV scale way back then. And it also depends on who you're working with, the producer. you know, if they have the budget for double, triple scale, then they'll sort that out for you.
When I used to rig, I never worked any union gigs. I always worked freelance gigs, and I remember working with some union riggers though that they would be getting union rate while I was just getting whatever my day rate was.
Because you weren't union, yeah.
And they were like constantly like, "You got to slow down. This out needs to go to 12:01 because once 12:01 hits, it's double time and it's a minimum. It's another like minimum 3 or 4 hour call or something."
Oh man,
I'm like,
yeah.
I'm on day rate. The sooner I get the hell out of here, the better.
Oh man,
like,
we were working with Carrie on an orchestra hit, and the whole orchestra was there. This was in L.A.
Yep.
And mid song, they stopped, put their instruments down, and walked out. Union scale break. They play for keeps, man. And Canada plays for keeps, by the way. Every time I went on tour,
they stole your money.
They dinged me 15% because I wasn't considered an employee of Carrie Underwood because I was sub S corp, contract.
Yep.
So I was basically taking union work. So every time I went out there, I had to give you I had to present to Canada 15% of every penny I made.
Nice. You're welcome. Hey, man, so it helps pay for our free healthcare. Thanks, bud.
But I got, every time we were headed to Canada, my tour manager would be like, "Hey, man, good news, bro. We're going to be in Canada for like 3 months."
High fives, Canada. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much. There's a couple other funny things here that I was going to mention. L. Scott Music said, "How do you take pay?" Real simple. PayPal, send it to Derek, DEREK, at revamps.com. You'll get all sorted out for you.
Well, man, I'll sort that out with you. Like I said, I'm sorry I've missed I'll get all that sorted out.
Anthony Best is asking, Shawn, have you ever played a steel string singer?
That I haven't. I've played Ultraphonics modified Fenders. Mm-hmm. And other than that, I've played lots of overdrive specials. I have not played a singer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. I think the Dumble is warm now. Yeah. Okay, for the dude who was asking about Denver sandwich. So a Denver sandwich is like, it's just eggs with ham, like in between 2 pieces of toast.
With some ketchup, really?
You dip it in ketchup.
Oh, jeez.
Am I wrong?
I was born in Denver.
Really?
Yeah, and I do not like ketchup on
anything.
Well, no, not on anything. Fries, maybe, but no ketchup on steak or eggs.
No, ketchup.
It's like ketchup on pasta.
You know what? Any of you that put any sort of sauces on your steak right now, just go. Like, don't bother. Salt and pepper, get out.
Down the hatch.
That's right. Oh yeah, bud.
400 degrees. What is it?
Yeah, 2 minutes.
2 minutes one side.
2 minutes one side, 2 minutes the other side. Flip grill marks, down the hatch. Yeah, I can't do Letterkenny properly. I wish I could. What is this? In other news, I've also played the Brown Dumble at Ultrasound in New York City.
How was that, man?
Yeah, love to know. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's the deal? Yeah. What's going on? I like the lag because we ask a question and about 45 seconds later we figure it out. Why don't we hear that amp a bit more? Because there's probably people who are watching that are like, I thought they were going to like play the Dumble instead of just talk about it. Why don't you make it bark a bit? There it is. Now it woke up. Now it really woke up. Okay. Hold on a second. Can we just get a little bit of appreciation for... Okay, play that without that, and then listen to what the tilt does to this. That should just always be on.
Yep.
Like it should, yeah. Why would you ever not have that on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm biased, but I'm pretty fond of it.
JTSN, GTFO, man. Les Paul should not always have pick guards. Come on. Come on.
Hell yes, they should have pick guards. Never not. No. I'm not making sense. I'm not saying no pick guards. I'm saying yes, they should never not have a pick guard. No.
Never not know.
What? I'm so confused.
I said they should never not have a pick guard.
That guitar would look way better without that pick guard.
Hell no.
Oh, 100% it would.
Hell
Look
no.
at the top on that thing.
Yeah.
Are you blind?
No,
I mean, blind
well.
people are good guitar players a lot of the time. I think that's what the deal is. Because your ears are heightened, right?
No, man.
No? It's not that? Are you colorblind?
No.
Like
man.
something?
No.
Sure.
No, I'm just honest.
Oh, just honest. he's just honest and wrong.
Honestly wrong.
Yeah, dude. Peter says Gene invited me to play the brown Dumble and his Trainwrecks when he was servicing an amp I bought from him.
Nice.
The Dumble on the lead channel with the boost on was the female voice. Gorgeous. I have never played a Trainwreck. You ever played a Trainwreck?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Chris Van Tessel actually had a few, and they're great. The thing that I found with Trainwrecks is they sounded really great to me. I mean, you could get a lot of great sounds out of it, but I was happiest with it wide open, and then dynamics from the guitar, and it was just killer. Just roll the volume off.
Is the Comet stuff based off of Trainwrecks? Is that right?
Sort of.
Hey, Internet, correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Yeah, I mean, the Comet stuff is killer. I haven't played a ton. I've played like the Comet 60, there's the Concorde, and once again, ridiculously dynamic, super broadband tone out of a lot of those but that's all Ken Fisher stuff.
I don't know which Comet I
God
played.
rest his soul.
Mark was nice enough to invite me over to his place a while ago, and I got to play a lot of the stuff in his collection. I didn't play his Trainwreck, but I did get to play his Comet, and I got to play... Actually, my favorite amp that he had, besides the new Overdrive Special that he had, is... I wouldn't even say it was my favorite amp he had. It was the best of the Dumbles I've played, but my favorite amp that he had is a Cornford RK100.
Oh, yeah.
That was just
I forgot about
heartbreakingly good. Yeah.
Those are good amps, man.
Yeah, it was killer. I've wanted to buy one since then, but... I forgot to ask him if he had his modded, because everyone I've seen since then is like 240 volt, like 230 or 240, and I'm like, I don't want to have to deal with step down transformers or anything, or Variac type stuff. I just want something that's wired for 120.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah. How does the Lunchbox sound on high metal style gain? Oh, pretty good. Like, you mean this thing? I hope that's what you mean.
The one with the money on it?
Yeah. Sounds like that. How do I fix that?
You got the boost on it.
So that's just the G3 into it. And actually, I have the G3 is like... What am I doing wrong here? Does the threshold have to be that high?
Well, yeah. In this room, because you're sitting so close to all the transformers.
Yep. killer.
That is gratifying.
It is. It sounds very big, even in one ear that's not that loud.
You know how it sounds when I try to do that?
Yeah, me too. Yeah, now it sounds better. My ears are crazy loud now. Shouldn't have done that. Nope, not gonna do it. I think I made it louder. Whoops. I'm stupid. Yeah, no, we're not in the same room. We're at Blackbird Studios in Nashville, Tennessee.
The Blackbird Studios.
The Blackbird Studios.
Yeah.
In my home away from home, Nashville.
This place is insane.
Nashville? Yeah, I love it.
No, Blackbird.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, Nashville's killer, but Blackbird Studios.
How many of you guys have been to Nashville? Let's talk about that. And again, we wait. How long is this lag? Yeah, you know. What was that?
Jeff Beck, man. I've been working on it. It's like not as easy as it looks. It's Two Rivers.
That's
That
awesome.
song Two Rivers, and then
Is that on the G that you're starting?
D string.
Yeah, that's not easy.
Yeah, well, it's easier if you don't use a pick
Really?
and play back closer to the bridge. And then use like your finger instead
Can you
of...
do it again?
Yeah.
I did it. See that?
Now, ever since Jeff passed, you know, it was one of those songs. Two Rivers is just an absolutely beautiful, beautiful song. And when he passed, it was one of those things where it's like I never sat down to like try and figure out how he did all of that using just harmonics. And he uses everything with a whammy bar. But I mean, I've always been a Jeff Beck fan, but when he passed away, that song just has been in my head ever since. Yeah.
What was the last one?
So, oh, sorry. Yeah, so it's in the key of G. So now when you play a G chord, you can go.
I can't.
Everybody will think you're cute.
Yeah.
No, I've been working on it. It's a booger. It's so hard to do, but it's awesome.
Oh, Flux, now we're talking. Okay. I'll answer some of your other guys' questions here, but now we know what to talk about. Shawn, what's your favorite restaurant in Nashville and why?
Butcher and Bee. And the menu's constantly changing. It's real farm to table, almost prohibition style cocktails. That's the first thing that comes to mind. There's a lot of great stuff in Nashville, but Butcher and Bee is like lately has been, yeah, that's a good joint.
I don't know if my wife is watching right now, but Heidi, if you're watching, have we been there?
It's right beside the place we're staying at.
Is it?
Yeah, is it in that area?
Oh yeah. Is it? Is it beside Edley's?
I think, yeah.
Across the street, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I haven't been there.
Yeah, it's great.
Nice. My favorite is where we went for dinner tonight. We went to Manel's. It's not Manel's Cafe. It's just called Manel's, right?
Diner, right?
So it's family style dining. It's like, would you say it's kind of like? I would have called that like Sunday night dinner at Grandma's house.
Yeah, it's very southern, man. The only thing that didn't come out, unless I missed it, I didn't see collard greens. But
no, they normally come out either collard greens or they also normally have deep fried okra.
Yeah.
So like pretty southern stuff, but like it's just they just keep bringing out like dish after dish after dish, and they sit you at a table that seats 12 people, and if 2 of you go, you're sitting with 10 strangers, and it's past the potatoes, past the best. I would say it's the best like fried chicken I've had anywhere.
If you're not after like hot chicken, like
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, I mean,
Prince's
just
or Hattie
straight-
B's or something. But if you just want really great chicken, Miles is
skillet fried chicken. They had tonight. They had
pork.
pork
chops were killing.
or fried pork chops.
Mm-hmm.
They had like baked turkey
Mm-hmm.
with like gravy and stuff, biscuits and gravy and.
But yeah, you nailed it. It's
Mac and
like
cheese and-
it's Sunday dinner at Grandma's house.
Yeah.
Like Grandma's a killer cook, and that's
and
right
the
after
best fried
church,
chicken you've
man.
ever had.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
really good fried chicken.
But also, I mean, I could list like, I could probably list 20 places in Nashville that I could eat that I think are better than almost anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a foodie, it's kind of hard to go wrong now in Nashville. I mean, I've only been here since 2006, but it's like exploded even since then. Because when Melissa and I first moved here, my wife, we were kind of struggling to find like cool. You know, we weren't like over the top, like we got to find all these high-end hoity-toity restaurants. But at the same time, it's like, that whole thing is expanded. I mean, if you dig food, you're gonna have a hard time being upset.
Yeah, I used to. I'm not joking. I used to when I came to Nashville for a week, I would gain at least like 7 to 10 pounds being here for a week because of the amount of shit I would eat. It's awesome. Yeah.
Moss Taco.
I like Cheap Charlie's taco truck better than Moss Taco.
Cheap Charlie,
but like
I know what you
Moss
mean,
Taco's
but Moss
great,
Taco's
and also
pretty
Bar
damn good.
Taco, which I know is a bit of a chain, but Bar Taco has like, I don't know what you call it, like if it's like
That's more
kind of like fusion tacos or I don't know.
it's like street taco fusion to me. It's like almost bistro street taco or something. Yeah,
But it's awesome. Dorian's smiling right now because he's like, place is awesome. Like, yeah, what are we going after? Done. Forget beer and gear. This is Tone and Tacos. It totally is, dude. Like, yeah,
Tone and tacos.
totally is.
I'm in.
Yeah, like
I know, right?
man, we're gonna all head over. If you guys are in Nashville right now, we should all head over to Dino's for a greasy shitty cheeseburger at like midnight tonight, and fries with some good old Velveeta dumped on it. Stuff that makes you hate yourself at 4 a.m.
But it melts right.
Oh yeah,
God,
it's
the melty
takes
stuff,
an hour to
man.
get your burger, but
Yeah,
yeah,
and it'll
but
be
it's
in your
killer.
system for the rest of your life.
Yes.
but it melts so good.
Ritesh asked the most underrated guitar. Ooh, yeah.
Underrated guitar, like guitar brand or guitar model.
Yeah,
Underrated guitar, Fender Squier. Absolutely, you
Fender
get that-
Squire too.
Yep, you get one set up right. Jack Pearson, check him out.
You ever
Fender
eaten at
Squire.
5 Points Pizza? Anybody here?
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Somebody just said 5 Points Pizza. I've never had it. Sessions
man.
with Jeff said that.
No, there's a joint in Spring Hill called Vikings Pizza.
Yeah, you've told me about that.
Killer.
No, we had that. That's-
No, they were closed, remember, and we had to go to.
I don't know. You bought? No.
We ended up going to Brick
No.
Tops.
No. We went there for dinner, but you had pizza at the house one night when we were there.
Oh,
that you ordered.
yeah, we brought it back. Yeah,
That was killer.
Yeah, Vikings is killing. But
Yes.
yeah, 5 Points is good.
What's the discount brand that Pierce likes? Oh, I got it. I actually have I wouldn't say a hot take on this. Underrated guitars. I gotta say, I've played some really shitty Harley Bentons, right? From like Toman's brand, and I've played some really unbelievable Harley Bentons. Like shockingly good. Like, remember, did you? Oh, you didn't really play any of the guitars at Glenn's, did you? Because we just popped in there. Glenn has a Harley Benton SG, which I can't believe I'm going to say this because I hate the SG so much. SG stands for shit guitars, just in case anybody's wondering. I hate SGs so much. This SG, that Harley Benton SG that Glenn has, sounds unbelievable, feels great, stays in tune, and it doesn't even have neck dive on it. So I still will not say that it is a. I'm going to stop talking about it.
I tell you what, man.
Harley Bentons.
Yeah,
gotta admit.
I'm sure I've never played one, but I'm sure they're kind of hit and miss. I will say, and this is God's honest truth, the new PRS SE line.
Oh, the new DGT.
Man, I was shocked. They sent me one just to try. They're just like, we just want
Yep.
your thoughts on it, because they know I own a DGT, and I was like, how much is this? Because I still thought, because I hadn't looked up the price point or anything, so I thought, well, it's got to be at least $1,500.
Yeah.
The way I'm playing it, it's a sub $900 guitar,
Yeah.
and it's shockingly good.
Yeah.
So I'm not, that kind of jumps out of the underrated thing, but at the same time, it's like, wow, that's the first time in a long time where I played something that was more affordable. It wasn't a $3,000, $4,000, even $2,000, even $1,000 guitar where I was like, man, this is a good guitar.
So PRS sent it to you because you've got a DGT?
Yeah.
So PRS, I have a DGT. I don't have a DGT SE. And gold, I'm not going to put my address out here right now, but if you email me at derek@revamps.com, I'll get it to you. You can send it to me, and I'll tell you if I think it's cool. I mean, the one that I played at your office is awesome. But, you know, send it on over. No big whoop. Come on, Emil. Help a brother out. No, I'm just kidding. No, they're awesome.
But I'm trying to think of other guitars that, like, kind of slip. Because honestly, like a Squire, you know, you can and a lot of the made in Mexico strats are great. Like
Yes.
you can dial those in and they're fine, you know.
Yep. I'm missing all sorts of stuff, I think. Oh, dude, they're arguing about like toasted buttered everything bagel twist on the side. Like, nice.
See what we started in the chat?
I have yet to even pick up a PRS, but I've always wanted to. They look awesome. Oh, dude, so good. I mean, everything's so good, though. I mean, that's...
Yeah, I mean, the
it's
thing
the
with
reality of the wonderful world of gear that we live in right now. That, like, literally, there's so little out there that sucks. It's awesome.
Yeah, the thing with PRS is it was the David Grissom model that got me into PRS. But that's the thing, once you get into, I mean, like the SE, like I said, my gosh, I mean, well under $1,000, and it's so much guitar. But once you get into like the $2,000-$3,000 echelon, it's like nothing is not great. It's just, it's either a fit or it isn't a fit. And PRS, Gibson, Fender, Charvel, Tom Anderson, Suhr, Gibson, they all build great stuff these days, really. And it's just whatever's a fit is what fits. Very rarely, I mean, there's been some controversy with Gibson, I know, but very rarely, at least for me, when I get into a guitar that's in the 2,000 range, if I don't like it, it's not because it's not a good guitar, it's just because it's not a good fit. So PRS is a great fit for some people in the way they feel and look, and then for others it's not. Same with a Gibson Les Paul or a Suhr, or like I said, a Tom Anderson, a Schecter. Yeah, there's so many great instruments out there.
I got one hot take on that, and that's that 2006 Gold Top Traditional that I have that I sent you. That thing's a dog.
Yeah. That.
By the way, it's for sale. In case any of you are looking for a Gold Top.
Yeah. So if you're looking for a guitar that I actually hated,
that Shawn sent back to me,
it's
and was
for
like,
sale.
you know, I don't need a Les Paul, and I'm like, yeah, you do. Shoot. Well, there goes my chance of selling that one, Dorian? Hang that one on the wall.
I think we worded that wrong.
Yeah, it's gonna look pretty for a while now. At least not that many people watch this. It'll be okay.
No, but that same thing. That guitar wasn't fit because the neck shape was just not right for me. But it's a nice guitar. It was fine.
He's being nice. He's being so nice. It's one of the Gibsons that like.
I really like this guitar.
Yeah. Like, the one I have, you know what? I got to get like TJ Silger to look at it and like try to get it to stay in tune. It's one of the Les Pauls that just no matter what you do, it won't stay in tune. Yeah. Like this thing had its headstock broken off and not repaired that nicely.
But
this guitar is staying in tune and sounds awesome.
That guitar is going to be a gem when you get that all sorted out. That's going to be a great guitar.
You know what the best part about it right now is if I dropped it, as long as I didn't break the headstock off and I nicked it, it wouldn't matter because it's probably going to get done. Shawn, Jason Ross, congratulations on the birth of your little girl. And Jason, for anybody watching, go find any video on social media or on YouTube of Jason Ross playing the guitar. And Jason is, without a doubt, one of my favorite guitar players that we have ever worked with. Yeah. Just amazing. Actually, I met Jason in Nashville.
Oh, you did?
The first summer NAMM that we did. And... yeah, Jason's phenomenal. He was wondering if you're still playing LSL.
Of course, yeah. I've still both those guitars. Yeah, I've just got the two. I've got that black Strat and the gold one with the Filtertron in the back. But yeah, I'm still playing them.
I know Jay's got some, like he's got a number of Suhrs, and I'm pretty sure he's got LSLs. Mm-hmm. And Jay, I'm wondering if you are still watching. Dude, have you ever played any Tylers? Because... you know what you need is a Tyler.
Yeah, I don't, if he doesn't like a Tyler, I won't understand, other than he didn't like the headstock.
Yeah.
But man, Tylers are just, yikes, good guitars. And that'd be a perfect fit for Jason. But yeah, Jason's a killer player. He's a nice cat too. Really nice
Yeah,
dude.
just tasty. That's I mean, there's lots of phenomenal players, man. He did the first G3 demos that we were doing, and he's a great videographer and editor.
Yeah.
And we actually shot a lot of that here in Studio C, back at Summer NAMM in must have been 2018, Summer NAMM, and yeah, dude, just the arranging that he does. Like when we would go to him and say, hey, we want to showcase how you can do 80s style tones with the G3, what he would write and come up with is just so perfect. And then he'd come back and do some fusion thing or some metal thing, and his demo to this day, one of my, no offense Shawn, but one of my favorite demos we've ever had done. Yeah, I just shit the bed on this one. Yeah, Jay was playing a 7-string through the Dumble when we did the G3 thing. No, he did the opening demo for the 100p, the launch video, and he had coined the new term countrycore because he was playing borderline hardcore metal, but with a telly and doing a lot of
chicken picking.
twangy, twangy chicken picking stuff, and it just still one of my favorite arrangements of anything that's ever been done for Rev.
I mean, Jason can flat play, but here's somebody when I think about, Jason can play, but I was just thinking about shredders.
Yep.
Man, if you guys are bored, get on Instagram, look up Billy Campbell with a P.
Oh, yeah.
Music. Dude he sits there with a cigar and a Les Paul or whatever it is he happens to have, and he just flat shreds. Every time I just get sad. It's just, it's there's no way I will ever
Don't watch any of that till the live stream's over, though. I saw you saying you're on it already. Come on.
Come on now.
We're still here.
I said save the link, okay?
Yeah.
But no, speaking of Billy just kind of popped into my head. It's God, there's so many just insane players that people haven't checked out. And Billy plays for Low Cash. But
Nice.
And what's funny is I met Billy because he came over to pick up an amp I had just demoed for a company. So
Nice.
they were like, hey, this guy Billy Campbell's going to come over and pick up your amp. And so he rolls up to my place, I open the garage, and he's backing up his truck to get the amp. He gets out and he sees my bicycles hanging on the wall.
Oh, yeah.
Instantly. And then I'm smoking a pipe. I'm having a pipe, and he's like, oh, you smoke a pipe? And then he's like, you cycle? I was like, yeah, and it turns out Billy used to be a pro cyclist.
Oh,
so we
nice.
hit it off instantly, and then of course Billy's into cigars. So it was instant camaraderie, but I had no idea how this cat could play till I went over to his place. And to him it's just funny. It's all funny.
Right.
And to me, I'm just sitting there crying
That's
I can't
have you
deal
ever
with
watched
this.
you watch any videos of there's lots of players that make it seem completely effortless, right?
Mm-hmm.
You ever seen John Holt play? Yeah. I'd say how well synchronized his two hands are and how fluid everything appears. It looks like it's the easiest thing on the planet to him, and that he's borderline bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
And
another
just phenomenal.
cat, Mateus Mancuso. Another guy, scare you to death, doesn't use a pick. Everything is just 2 fingers, classical. Yikes. Same
Crazy.
thing. It's just oh my God.
We are in Studio E at Blackbird Studios in Nashville. Yeah. I've been in Studio G, E, and C here. Mm-hmm. And then I walked through. B is the one beside C, right? Over there. Or is that A?
Studio D.
Studio D is the big one over there? Besides C?
That one there, yeah, besides C.
Yeah, that's what's right. That's what's in the picture there. And we're talking.
Oh, yeah.
A and B are in the front building.
Okay. Yeah. I've gotten to walk through D. That's all. They were like, you're not allowed to be here. You don't have Studio D money. You got Studio E and Studio G money. You're good. We got a closet you can hang out in next time you come.
Steve,
We put a Mackie.
So, hey everybody,
Desk
we're
in there for you.
the guy we're talking to is it's Steve. What's your last name, Steve?
Cordray.
Cordray. He is one of the many resident geniuses here that run things like this at Blackbird Studios. What is it? What console?
It's Neve 8058.
Neve
Came
8058.
from Capital Studio D, I believe.
Yeah, so Capitol Records Studio D, that's where this console came from. I mean, there's just, Blackbird is just the jam. You can't walk into a single A, B, C, D, E, F, G, L, O, X, M, O. Doesn't matter what room you're in, there's going to be something that's just like magical. This place is killer.
You walk in here, and the most impressive thing is there's like a little like living room in every studio with a kitchen, and they have snacks out for you. Like there's like, man, they got Dr. Pepper and Diet Dr. Pepper, Coke, Coke Zero, Sprite, water, and then like Ritz crackers or some shit, like something like that, and like, you know, granola bars. Dorian was like, I don't want to eat anything else, but I love this. It's like there's chips just sitting here waiting for us as soon as we're ready. It's the best.
Well, and on top of that, you know, Jonathan McBride, I mean, amp collection of Doom.
Yeah.
I mean, mic collection of Doom. I mean, anything you could possibly need, guitars, basses, amps, mics, consoles, party speakers. I mean, it's just, this is the jam. I'm always blessed to be at Blackbird because it's just, it's the jam.
It's a good time. They got a school. You can come here and learn how to make rock records.
Yes, you
and
can.
country records.
Or country rock records.
What's that?
I just want to make sure pick guards stay on Les Pauls.
I'm going to take that off when you go home.
I learned that at
I'm
Blackbird.
going to take it off. I'm going to get somebody who smokes to give me a lighter, and I'm going to melt that down. The parking lot. And Manny to shoot a video of it. Yeah. What model are the monitors? Oh, man, I have no idea.
Steve.
Well, you got
ATCs?
classic NS10s in the middle.
Yep.
Can you guys hear him? NS10's in the middle.
Yeah, and those are standard. Like NS10s are standard. Genelec,
1031s.
1031s,
and
ATC.
ATC 25s.
ATC 25s. And those are, the ATCs are the cheapest ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. What other questions you guys have? I mean, some of you guys joined us later. You want to hear the Dumble a bit more?
Derek, you play the Dumble a bit more.
I'll play the. I'll play
boring
it.
the crap out of people with my.
Oh yeah, sure. That's 100% the problem. All right. You guys want to hear shitty drop D riffs, right? That's what we got all night.
Go back to the crunching.
Jay asked what console is it again?
8058.
The Neve 8058. I'll fix that. Can you turn that tune on for me?
Yep.
Am I plagued by the Les Paul problem right now? I'm not. I'm plagued by bad hands.
Whatever.
Well, there I was. I'm good now. Thanks. I think these are the 498 Ts. I don't really remember. The guy that I bought it from told me. Dorian thinks that's right, but... yeah,
G2, man.
That's the G2 hitting the front of the double.
There's without it.
There it is. A Dumble with a bunch of pedals. Shawn, what's your favorite pickup?
Oh, that's a terrible question.
favorite
I mean, it's
flavor
not
of
a,
ice
it's
cream?
not a terrible question. I will have a terrible answer. I will say my favorite set. I've got sets of pickups that I.
I'll shut up now. Fine. Jeez. Shit.
I've got sets of pickups that I love. So, Loller, you can't go wrong with Lollers. I can't remember. I don't know what the model is now. It was back. I have the set that was called the Dirty Blonde set, and it's they've changed the name of it, but that Strat set is killer. In the Loller collection, my favorite bridge pickup humbucker is definitely an Imperial. I also lean towards Sir does a pickup, but I'm not sure that they make them anymore. But the Sir ML Standard single coil is killer. The Sir SSV is killer. And then in between those two, if I want like something in between, then the Tyler stuff, the JT stuff is killer. My favorite Tyler bridge pickup is called The Secret. That pickup is awesome. I don't gravitate towards really high output pickups. If it's much above, I would say 9 to 10K, then I tend to kind of shy away from that. There's so many killer pickup makers out there now. So like I said, it's kind of a tough question. It's hard for me to pick like, well, this is like the Desert Island, or this is, and like these pickups in this Les Paul sound killer. These are just Gibson CS pickups, custom shop pickups. They're not potted, and they sound amazing. They're super low output. I think the bridge in this thing is probably, if it's 8K, I'll be surprised. The neck is probably 7K or late 6K. Lower output, they're super airy. Yeah, that's a tough question. I mean, Ron Ellis is making killer pickups. Lindy Fralon's still making amazing pickups. It's kind of like the guitar thing. It's like everything is killer.
Peg City pickups in Winnipeg.
Peg City,
like,
yeah.
Chris makes great stuff.
Yeah, and I had never heard of that, and I was watching a live stream, and I always watch the live streams on my studio monitor, so I can hear really well. And you guys were playing a guitar that had Peg, I think it was an SG, right?
Yeah.
Peg City humbuckers, and I was like instantly typing like, what are those?
Yeah.
And yeah, those are great sounding too. So.
I noticed you didn't mention EMGs in your conversation here.
You know what, man? I was an EMG fiend.
Were you?
That's what was in that Valley Arts.
Oh, I have them in that Charvel that I have, and I mean, I'm like...
Not now. I'm not an EMG
I
guy.
hate EMGs so much.
But back in the day, but that's
Sorry,
the thing,
boys.
though. If you like EMGs, you like EMGs. For me now, they're just way too glassy. They're way too hi-fi sounding for me.
Yeah.
But back in the day, man, that's all I used in. I just got my Valley Arts back.
Yeah.
And it actually has Tom Anderson's in it now.
You guys want to see that guitar? That's a killer guitar. Can you grab that, Dorian? Or
It's the
only other
It's the
guitar
only
in the
gig
case.
bag that's heavy.
Yeah, I like the Lollers that you put in that Les Paul. Like you put Lollers
that's
in
what I
that
put
gold
in the
top.
gold one,
They sound great.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
like
that's the
Gibson pickups,
Imperial
man.
set. Yeah.
You know what I'm a big fan of is the Gibson Dirty Fingers humbucker. I've always been a fan of that.
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, thank you. And then I like the 498s or whatever these are that are in here. And then I like the Fishman Fluence, the classics.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the moderns, but
Well-
and I really really like the Greg Coctelli set. I think it's my favorite pickup on the planet.
Yeah. Speaking of insane guitar players,
Yeah.
Greg, good Lord.
Yeah.
What a player.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing a little bit. Here, I'm going to give you this back so that we can hear that. So why don't you tell us about that Sun Valley guitar of yours there?
Sun Valley. Hey man.
That Hidden Valley Ranch guitar.
Where'd you get that Hidden Valley Sun Valley guitar? This guitar goes all the way back. I bought this guitar when I was just a crazy kid with a dream. 30 years ago. And
It's in really good shape for being 30.
Yeah.
Like 30 years old, man.
Yeah, so long story short, I did all of I was in a band called The Violet Burning with my brothers. And the Violet Burning Strength record was recorded exclusively with this guitar through a bazillion dollar 22 space rack system that I actually toured with. I'm eventually going to do a video about this guitar, but basically what happened was I ended up trading it to a friend of mine, a guy named Gino Frizzelli, who's also a great guitar player. He had it all this time. I always knew he had it. And I'm trying not to make this a long story. He took a bunch of pictures of it. He hadn't been playing it, but he had been taking just absolutely beautiful care of it. It had just been in the case. He got it out. He's an amazing photographer, so he took a bunch of pictures of it and sent it to me just for nostalgia's sake. He's like, hey, you remember this thing? I still have it. And I was like, are you playing it? He's like, you know what? I'm not really playing it. I'm actually kind of gravitating away from it because I want like a different neck shape and, you know, not really playing it. I honestly told him, I said, well, hey, if you ever think about selling it, please at least reach out to me first. I may not be able to afford it, but at least let me know. And he very sweetly, man, what a sweet cat. He just said, I'll just send it back to you as a gift. So I'm still in shock to have this thing back. And like I said, there's way more story to how I ended up with this particular model. But it did originally have EMGs in it. Something happened to those pickups, and Gino ended up putting Tom Anderson pickups. So this is, I think, an H2 Plus, and these are SAs. And these pickups in this guitar are a little too bright because this thing is all maple. It's a one-piece maple guitar with a bird's eye maple. I mean, you guys,
it's gorgeous.
Yeah, ebony fretboard. So these pickups are a little too bright for me in this guitar. They're super glassy and modern sounding. I can roll the tone off. Crazy glassy, but back in the day, that's how I was. Those were the tones I wanted. So I'm kind of torn about whether I'm going to take these out. If I do take these out, I will most likely put something a little bit darker in, but the jury's going to be out on that. But anyways, that's why this guitar is here, is because we're talking about EMGs.
Yep.
It had an 81, and then I can't remember which. It was so long. It was 30 years ago, guys, but 33 years ago. But I know it was an 81 in the back because it didn't split. This switch is here because it splits all three pickups. I think Gino had that installed.
Okay.
So series.
Yep.
Open.
Right.
So more noise. But and it still has the original Kaler Steeler trim on it. Try and find one of those. I mean, it's just, yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm crazy blessed to have this thing back. I still can't believe it.
Hot takes. Kyle's going to comment on that Kaler. It's not the Kaler he's thinking, because it's like a Floyd, not a...
Yeah, it's the Kaler. Yeah, it was back when Kaler, I guess it must have been a licensing thing or something.
I don't know.
But it's a Kaler Steeler trim. And
I know a lot of guys hate Kaler trims. I've got one on the Charville Model 6 that I have, and I love it.
Yeah.
Like, it works great.
I always thought Kalers were fine, but this one, you cats probably, there's somebody out there that really knows about these. I just remember in the day when I got this guitar, I was like, well, it looks like a Floyd, cool, works great.
Yep.
But it was a Kaler, and now these are kind of, these are a bit sought after.
Yeah.
You know? And to try to find parts for it is a booger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't drop it later, is that what you're saying?
Don't break it.
Yeah. All right.
So anyways,
I won't touch it.
I hope I didn't bore you guys, but yeah, that's long story short with this one.
Steve Rezer asked, is there going to be a Summer NAMM in Nashville again? No idea. Yeah, no idea.
Mm-hmm.
I hope so. The Summer NAMM show is my favorite of the NAMM shows.
Mm-hmm.
Partially because it's here. Because if I didn't live where I live in Canada, I think I would live here. But mostly because Summer NAMM's way more affordable because Tennessee is a right-to-work state, so you don't have to deal with the union if you don't want. You can set up your own booth. So there's a lot of small builders, and also they charge you 50% less for your booth space at Summer NAMM versus at Winter NAMM. So you end up getting a lot of really cool small amp and pedal builders and probably guitar builders. I honestly never go to the NAMM show looking for guitars. I always go looking for electronic stuff. But yeah, the amount of really awesome small pedal builders and amp builders that show up, it just, I don't know. The show's great. Also, there's just like this completely different vibe with, especially like kind of pro level musicians in Nashville versus Los Angeles. You don't really see them at the LA NAMM show unless like, you know, they're walking to whatever the big guitar company they endorse, unless they're walking to that booth to do, you know, autograph sessions or whatever.
Well, it's just a smaller world in Nashville.
Well, yeah, but you'll get like pro players and like decent sized names coming up to your booth, and no one's bugging them, and they're just genuinely interested in checking out gear, and you can have conversations with them, which is really, really awesome. Where in LA, what you get in LA is you get like guys that have never made it in a band but still look like they belong in Motley Crue in the like late 80s, early 90s, and telling you how, you know, how big their new record's going to be and why you should endorse them. You get those guys in LA constantly, and yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a different scene in Nashville.
And I find the show here is not as loud. So like you just don't, like you can actually talk to people and have a conversation, and the hangs are all cooler, and I don't know, Nashville's a cooler city than Los Angeles in my opinion. So sorry if you live in LA. I just think that this city has, I mean, for anybody else who's from like, I grew up in like really small town Canada, like, you know, 2,500 people kind of small town. Nashville feels like a small town in a big, like, that's just grown into a big city.
Yeah, I call it small town, big industry, you know.
Yeah.
It's just super, super condensed, you know. I mean, my wife was born and raised in Anaheim.
Yep.
And I moved to California in 78, and I was there all the way up till 2003, 2004.
Yep.
And I like LA, and I would never, like, diss LA, but if I had to choose between the two, I'm definitely a Nashville kid. It's just a better fit for me. It's like I really like Nashville.
It's been so welcoming to me since the day that we came here, you know, like for any sort of events or anything. And Los Angeles, there's a lot more, like, it's a lot more of a grind to try to meet people and to try to do anything compared to here.
It's just different. Yeah, it's just a different world, you know. And some people are very uncomfortable out here, and they're way more comfortable in LA. So it's
for
just,
sure.
You know, it's to each his own. But for me, I really love Nashville, and I have grown to love Nashville over the years. I mean, I've only been here since 2006, but
yeah,
I love
100%.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I just, it's always been like unbelievably welcoming to me, and it didn't need to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, where California's less so. And I'm not slagging California that. It's just
it's just
less
different.
So
yeah, it's different, you know, different thing. I mean, my brother's still out there in LA, so I got to be careful. You know, he's gonna come for me.
Flux wants to know. Oh, sorry. Okay, so Nimiris wants to know, Shawn, what's your favorite speaker? And then they want to hear the guitar through the tilt into the Dumble.
Well, my favorite speaker is probably Eckhart Tolle. Oh, sorry, guitar speaker. I tend to gravitate in the room towards Creamback 65s. In the room, I tend to gravitate towards, you know, greenbacks, actually, low wattage. In the room, I love Alnico Blues. On the mic, I always end up with a V30. There's just something about a plain old V30. What happened?
I dropped my cable because I'm stupid. Thanks, honey.
Something about a V30 that's awesome. I will say, if you're a V30 fan, absolutely check out Eminence CV75. Fabulous speaker. If you like, you know, a V30, check those out. I would say overall, I gravitate towards, V30s. But there's tons of speakers I like. Like I said, man, Alnico Blues, man, in the room are just absolutely beautiful. And sometimes on the mic, they're a perfect fit depending on the track. But I don't know, man. Something about just plain old. And I have lately been just goofing around with EV12Ls again. And they're really fun. I mean, that's all I played, especially in the 90s, like when I had this guitar. Nothing but 12Ls. And those are really cool. But yeah, I guess, V30. Selly V30.
UK or Chinese?
Sorry?
UK or Chinese?
Oh, shut up.
Oh, do I?
Sorry.
Oh, geez.
UK
Yeah,
or
I don't even want to
Chinese?
go down that. Yeah. I do.
Which UK V30? Okay, hot take on Celestion. Celestion, why is the Mesa Boogie Vintage 30 different than other vintage 30s? Stop calling it a vintage 30 if you've changed it. Because then people are like, oh, the UK ones are way better than... No, it's different. It's... Oh! Damn it, Celestion. Oh, the new ones, they didn't change this cone thing and all this other crap. And like, oh, the new ones are way better. Glenn Fricker told me it was. Son of a bitch, I have no idea what the difference is.
I think one of them was dipped in baby oil and the other one was acetone.
Actually, if you guys want to know something about that, no, actually not about that at all. I should say that. But like about speakers in general, we built 2 4x12 cabinets on the same day, and you know what? When we get our shit together back home, we'll mic up both of these cabinets and put them on the live stream. These 2 cabinets are the ones that sit behind Sam and I on every live stream. They sound completely different. Yeah. They are identical with speakers from the same batch, and they sound 100% very different.
Matt and I Matt opened up the back of it.
There is nothing different. Nothing is wired wrong. No speakers are nothing is damaged. They just do not sound the same. So, So there's that. There's that to confuse you further. Exactly. So just so you know, just when you think you're good, you're not. Okay, I'm going to answer a couple other questions. You're going to hear the... Oh, yeah, he wants to hear the red Strat. He wants to hear that with the tilt and the Dumble.
Yeah, this Strat, I'm reluctant to... Well, I'm not reluctant. It's just these pickups I don't think are the right pickups for this guitar, but...
Emiris, we are using a 57 on a 121 on a Rev cabinet that is mic'd up in the isolation room beside us, 4x12. Jonathan Killstring, speaking of Glenn Fricker, would you guys say that Northern Mauler and a G3 are a little redundant with themselves? No, the amp side of the Mauler is very different from a G3.
Absolutely.
It's closer to a G4 than a G3, but it's even quite a bit off of what the G4 is, so I don't think it's really redundant. And also, if you like the HM2 style thing or the chainsaw thing, I mean, that's the only way to get it from us. So, yeah. Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah. Oh, man. Jonathan, great to hear. Thanks for supporting us. And you got a D20. I mean, I'm of the 2 lunchbox amps, I'm not trying to slag on the G20 because obviously, let me say all of the stuff I have to say that I love all of our products. No, I do like the G20 a lot. I really love the wide switch on the clean channel on the generator, either on the G20 or the Gen 100R, 100P, 120. But the D20 takes pedals so well that I just can't argue with for high gain stuff I can't argue with that. So
yikes.
That's what I like. Because I love pedals. For those of you guys who watch the show, we have a shit ton of pedals back at the shop.
A few
and I got
around.
a couple. I got the new. I shouldn't say new, but new to me. I got the brand application Protein that I haven't hooked up here yet, but that I picked that up while I was down here off of the old Facebook Marketplace to mess with. So you see that on Gear and Beer scene, I'm sure, back home. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, let's hear it. Me that pedal right there.
Something like that.
Emerson asked what my favorite mid-gain pedal is at the moment. It has not changed for forever. I got this from Shawn. Can I out you for...
Oh, well, then I sent it to you because I really wanted you to check it out,
Yeah.
man. It's a good pedal.
So every now and then Shawn sends me stuff that he's demoed that he thinks I'm going to like. And every now and then he tells me when he's going to sell off some of the pedals that he's demoed. And I'm like, you know what? Whenever you're going to do that, I'll probably just buy all of them from you. And then we'll use them on gear
Well,
and
that's
beer
the
and
thing.
then
It
do
works
whatever
out
we're going
good
to do.
because I'm not just offloading pedals to disappear. It's like, no, they actually get
They come
more
back and get-
visibility and people
Yep.
get to check them out again. So for me, it's not about, because I sell them to you at like,
Yeah, I know. We're not
pennies on
talking
the
about
dollar.
that.
We're not talking
They're
about
top
like,
dollar. I lose so much if I ever try to sell them ever.
Yeah,
you know
right.
what? Like, it's, you know. it's
But
the way it
that's
goes.
the whole point.
Yeah.
Is I'd rather you have them and you make them visible
Yeah.
again. And it's not about me making a bunch of money on them. It's just I'm not necessarily using them. So
Yeah.
But that's a good one.
Yeah,
That's
so
that's
this
a
is
good
the Schnobeltone Daily Driver. This is still, for like a low to mid gain drive, this is still my favorite. I'm also really excited. Like, we're doing a thing on Friday in town here, and Mythos Pedals is there. And I really like
Zach builds
Zach,
great
and
stuff,
like,
man.
I really like Mythos stuff. So I'm stoked to try a bunch of his pedals that we haven't tried before. Yeah, I can't be, or I can't wait for that. It's going to be fun. Some
Zach,
hot
yeah.
chicken, some beer.
Yeah, and a bunch of great pedals and guitars and all kinds of stuff laying around.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope I played enough to give you an idea. I mean, something like that.
Musicians be broke in the future. They're already broke.
They're already
Paul's
broke.
got that. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how they'll fix that. Like, you know what I mean? Like the fact that you can't make money from selling records anymore. Like
Well, you can
it's-
if you do it right, man. There's ways to do it.
Yeah, but not like you can't make like the millions and millions of
no.
dollars. Like there's no more superstardom.
Those days
money.
are over.
Like,
well, even
yeah.
the session days are over. Guys that were making, you know, insane amounts of money playing on records. I mean, guys are still making good money playing on, you know, master scale or records that are albums, but there's nothing like back in the 90s. I mean, it was ridiculous.
Well, there's no more you play on a record. You get like a couple of points as the player, and like if the record hits, the residuals are so high that like it buys you a house.
No,
You know what I mean?
I can remember, and I wasn't playing on big records, but I can remember back in the day, even if it was just like a worship record or something, it was just a given that it was $1,000 day.
Right.
You just knew it was $1,000 a day.
Yeah.
You know, and then as things started changing, then it went all the way down to like 3 songs for $150.
Yeah.
You know? Things changed, you know, but you know, you can still,
mean-
you can still make a great living. It's just different now, you know, but yeah, the days of that kind of money, I think, have passed.
Well, and to be fair on the worship side of things, half you guys probably don't care about the worship market, but Shawn and I both kind of come from, you know, playing in church from when we were way younger. And I mean, I still do. I shouldn't say that I still do because I didn't play this entire last year, but I try to play at least once a month. I don't try that hard, but I should be trying harder. But yeah, like, I will say that I think the skill level, not to slag anybody who's doing worship sessions because they're great guitar players, but the skill level required to do those sessions, because of the type of writing that is done for that stuff now, has dropped significantly. So like,
well, yeah, but it's also way more prolific. You know,
yeah, there
back-
used to be big solos and stuff that you had to be able to flat play to be on those sessions. Where now that stuff is all gone. Just like in a lot of pop music, because it's just modeled after pop music. So,
Yeah, because it's funny,
Yeah.
man. I was, you know, especially
thank
with
you,
this.
Stan, saying that I missed. That's the drummer at my brother's
Aw,
church.
Stan.
So, I promise one day I'll be back.
But
I'll laugh as I say it.
But I was thinking about like pop tunes, and I know everybody's going to laugh at me, but there's this Kenny Loggins tune called "Meet Me Halfway," and Dan Huff took the solo on that. Check that out.
I met Dan Huff's brother today.
That's right. Yeah, you've been
Yeah.
hanging out with Dan. Dan's
no idea
insane,
how
but
excited I am.
for me, it's like gone are the days when you're going to listen to like a pop song,
Yeah.
and that guitar solo is going to show up.
Yeah.
You know, it's unfortunate. I mean, it's just that does kind of make me sad. I know it's not hip to have solos on songs anymore, but man, that was the time when it was like, okay, who's going to take the solo? Is it going to be Huff?
Yeah.
Is it going to be Landau? Is it going to be Jay Graydon? Paul Jackson Jr.? Is it going to be Luke?
Yeah.
You know, and now it's like all those cats are still working, but you don't, I miss those days, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
It's like, man, I would hear, like, I heard that solo on Meet Me Halfway, and I was just like, oh,
Well, I
I
mean,
gotta find out who that is.
you
know,
and
who's
I
that
have
cat?
heard like Jeff King play lots, right? And
yeah, Jeff's
anytime
great.
I've seen him play anything in his, like, play on any tracks in his studio or on a session, I mean, he's not using the 10th of his speed or ability.
But
in
what he
most
is
of what he's
doing,
but
what he is doing
is-
is using his musicality.
I was going to say,
'Cause, yeah.
whatever he's doing suits perfectly
Yeah.
what the track needs.
Yes, because
I
on the
mean,
other side of that coin, I always tell people, look, man, you can come out here and you can just shred. Nobody's gonna care. When
can
you
do
walk
that,
into
I
a
think.
session, what they want. See? And
See?
nobody's gonna care. And then you walk
I'm available
but you
for
walk
your
in
sessions. I'll undercut Shawn by 20%. It'll take me 4 times longer. Sound like shit, but it'll be cheap.
But that's the thing, when you walk into a session now, it's not about your chops. I mean,
No.
chops are important, but you have to have the right tone,
Yeah.
come up with the right part, play in the pocket, listen. I mean, that's the thing. It's like there's still an element now where it's like, yeah, you have to be extremely musical. It's like you may not have to have all those blazing chops, but man, you got to be crazy musical.
Well, the creativity, like I don't even know who the artist was, but Jeff invited me to just kind of a like standard session that he was on in town one time, just to come sit and watch because I'd never been to one. So what you'd expect, like it's all the Nashville numbering system, right? Like they chart everything out on the fly.
That was a rude awakening for me when I moved here.
Oh man, like you watch them where they like sit in the control room, listen to the song once, chart it, sometimes chart it as they go, and then they go in after listening to the demo, and in 2 takes they knock the song out, and you're like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah,
Like,
and that's
like,
musicality,
and
man.
that's the record. And I remember they were doing this one tune that was kind of like country meets like rockabilly. So really upbeat. I don't know what time signature it was in. Like I don't know if it was 4/4, if it was 6/8 or what it was, but it was
like a shuffle.
yeah. Very like fast shuffle. And there was guitar solos or a guitar solo.
Yeah, you mean like
And
that kind of
yeah,
stuff?
kind of, but a little more. Yeah,
That kind of stuff, yeah.
yeah. So they wanted a solo. Jeff wasn't the lead player on it. This guy that was the lead player, I've never seen anything like this in my life. So he plays this blazing fast, like chicken picking solo that just fits perfectly. One take nails it, like, and I was sitting in the control room, was just like, holy shit. Like, I've seen good guitar players. I know extremely good guitar players. I've never seen that because I've never seen you in that situation either. But I've never seen that, like, where it's like, hey, off the top of your head, by the way, go.
Yeah,
And
go.
good.
Yeah.
And you're done.
Yeah.
But what was most impressive to me wasn't that this dude nailed it. What was most impressive was the producer said, you know what, that was awesome. Let's do another pass and give me something, like, just give me something completely different. And the player was like, okay, cool. And away he goes. Completely different voicings for the solo. Everything is different, just as fast, just as impressive.
Yeah.
And-
That's having the barrel
and it-
pointed at you.
Yeah.
You know? Yep.
And, take ends. And producer's like, okay, cool. And asked the player, and the player's like, is that what you wanted? He's like, yeah, it's good. He's like, I think we're going to go with the first one anyway, but they're both great. And I'm sitting there going like, I'm never going to play in this world ever. there's no way. It's just, it's just the, and they like, I remember talking to Jeff about the fact that they would bang out an entire record in, like, live off the floor, bang out an entire record in less than a day.
Well, that was the rudest awakening for me. Is I was used to showing up, someone hands you charts,
Yep.
and there's letters on them.
Yeah.
And then, the sessions I did out here, you show up, nobody hands you a chart. You're supposed to write the chart
Yeah.
yourself. It's
Yeah.
like, don't you have a chart? And I'm like, no. Well, did you write it? I was like, uh-oh. Is that what you guys have been doing, like, while this went by? And then it's all numbers. And then once I realized the number system, it's like the number system is brilliant.
Yeah.
Because if the artist or producer is there and they're like, hey, we want to do this a half step up, or we want to do this a minor third down.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it's still just the numbers chart. Change the
Yeah.
key, and you're not sitting there like scribbling out letters. It's like,
Yeah.
no, you just already know. If you know, the just simple numbers of major scale, chord scales, then you can do it, But yeah, I mean, cats out here, and I'm not saying solos don't happen. I mean, Brent Mason is still Brent Mason, Brad Paisley, good Lord, Keith Urban. I mean, there's cats that and I'm sure I'm missing guys, but the first cat that comes to mind when it comes to like crazy country soloing is always going to be Brent Mason. It's like he's just untouchable.
Yeah.
Of course, Jeff King. Jeff's a beast. I mean, God, so many cats.
And they're all the nicest guys.
And they're sweethearts. Yeah. Sweethearts.
All right. Shawn, have you worked with Tom Bukovac?
No, I haven't worked with Tom Bukovac. Speaking of haunting guitar players, I've hung around with Tom.
Yeah.
Nobody plays like Tom. My favorite thing about, because Tom can sit in a track, anything he plays is going to be perfect, but my favorite thing about Tom Bukovac is when he just sits there with a guitar and just makes music. Tom is just, wow, can that guy play? And then, he's got this thing about how he changes the tone of a guitar just with, Tom's just absolutely brilliant. I've been very blessed to get to hang out with him. I've never worked with him on a session or anything like that, but yeah, Tom he's one in a million, and I think he's one of Nashville's best for sure. He's just, he's brilliant.
I met him when I bought, I have a 65 Fender Super Reverb that Owen told, or did Tom tell you, or did Owen tell you about that amp? Do you remember? The Super Reverb that I bought from Tom in March.
Owen had brought it up.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, Owen Barry, speaking of insane guitar players, and
good,
Nashville's best kept secret, Owen Barry.
And good pedal builder, too.
Yep.
Owen Barry
Killer
builds,
fuzz pedals.
Yeah, killer fuzz pedals.
And guitar. I mean, Owen's a...
Yeah.
There's another guy.
It's too bad he's such an ass, eh?
He's the sweetest, sweetest cat. Yeah.
Anyway, Owen told you about it, and you told me about it. Because I like old Fenders, and we got to go. I bought this amp from Tom, and we got to go, and Tom has, without a doubt, the best electric guitar I've ever played in my life.
Oh,
He's
Paul.
got a 58 burst that I've never had a guitar where on a clean channel you hang a note on a clean channel and it sustains so long that it naturally turns to a harmonic and just keeps singing.
And that was it. Like, speaking level volumes. We weren't playing loud.
We were in his kitchen.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Well,
he brought out guitar after guitar. At that point. Then he was just flexing. He's like, oh yeah,
yeah.
Try this. It was just like,
dude, so
you're
good.
Killing me. Yeah, he's got a guitar collection of Doom, amps, everything. I mean, that dude he just knows more than anybody about that stuff too. He just, man.
Yeah,
he's such
a badass guitar player and badass dude.
Yep.
Shawn, have you ever jammed with Johnny Highland?
No, but Johnny's brilliant. John's an insane player. I haven't, but I think he's an amazing player.
Somebody else mentioned, Jason Hobbs mentioned, hey, Jason. Jason's a great guitar player, too. He's up in, are you still in, Fort McMurray, Alberta area, Jason? He mentioned Guthrie Trapp as well.
Oh, Guthrie, yeah. And I haven't played with Guthrie either. I've met Guthrie, and he's a super, super sweet cat. And, yes, he can flat play. The thing with, Guthrie is kind of like, Guthrie doesn't shred like Andy Wood would shred. Right. But Guthrie and Andy both kind of grew up in the bluegrass land. Right. And so if you've got that technique and that touch, you're gonna kill it. Man, but Guthrie's amazing. So is Andy Wood. Jeez.
I was in Florida, and I went to Rock the Universe, and Skillet was playing, and Seth Morrison's a buddy of ours, and him and I were talking, and they had just come off of doing Shiprocked. That rock and roll cruise. Yeah. And Andy and Ben were on that as I think part of there's kind of a house band. I saw that they had Dave Elfson and I can't remember who else. Yeah, they had a couple of dudes. who's the lead singer from Lamb of God? Yeah, I'm not helping you. That's out of your world.
Yeah.
It's Mark something, isn't it? The comment section is gonna gonna kill me for this. Anyway, they were doing like Metallica's One together. Anyway, Seth, before he left, he called me just to talk about like getting together when he was in Florida. And he was like, he's like, well, I'm excited. He's like, I'm doing the cruise, and Andy Wood's on the cruise, and I've never met him, and I've never seen him play live or anything, but I've heard he's a phenomenal guitar player. I'm like, oh, dude. I'm like, if you haven't seen Andy Wood yet,
you're about to
like
be
you're about to
heartbroken.
be, you're about to throw your guitar over the side of that boat.
You're not going to be okay.
Yeah, or if you see, I mean, Ben was probably playing bass, but if you see Ben
Ben's
play
a
guitar,
killer player.
yeah, you're about to want to quit. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Any other questions you guys have? We were very long. Oh, Randy Blythe, not Mark. Thank you. I'm thinking of. Isn't Mark one of the guitar players that have signature pickups from Fishman?
Me no.
I don't know. Yeah.
Me no.
Either that or I'm just thinking of Mark Lewis because I saw him the other day.
That's a completely different cat. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Stobes, what is the real meaning, or what is the meaning of life? Oh, yeah. That is Stobes. Willie Adler. Thank you, Robbie. Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about tonight. There's no one named Mark around there. How does that control room sound? Super jealous. Never been to Blackbird.
Awful.
I mean, we were mainly just doing like sign sweeps through cabinets, so it sounds like over and over and over again for 8 hours a day.
Hey, we did some real recording.
We did.
We did.
No, it sounds.
No,
really
we
good.
got sounds with Stu in here. The control room sounds killer.
Pedals. Lawrence Petros, is that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lawrence builds great stuff.
Hey man, how's it going? Like your stuff?
Yeah, Lawrence is great.
I have a couple of pedals that I conned out of Shawn from you. It's good stuff, dude.
Yeah, Lawrence definitely builds good stuff. He's a nice guy too.
Yeah.
Out there in, was it Glendale, Lawrence? It's Glendale, right? Man. Yeah, I think it's Glendale, Arizona. Yeah, but I've always enjoyed when he sends me stuff for demo. It's like, not a struggle.
Yeah.
Really good pedals.
All right, you guys want to hear some more of this amplifier? This is the D20. That's what you're here for, right? The D20 with the. Ever played with Justin Johnson?
Nope.
All right, I'll stop playing. Shawn will play the Dumble.
What? It sounded great, man.
I know, but this is what people are here to hear. I'm done. They're here to hear the $150,000 amp.
How much is it?
Now they're honestly like 150 to 250 because Alexander died.
Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah.
I don't sound like a.
I remember making fun of
sound like
people
great
who
threat.
bought them when they were 50,000.
Oh yeah. I don't know.
That's some dude trying to get 600 grand. That's bullshit. There's
when,
no
when-
$600,000.
no. When I was playing them, they could be had. It took about 4 years to get them.
All right, there's two of them on YouTube for 600 grand.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Because I can remember you could get one back when I was playing them for about $3,000. It took about 4 years to get it.
Yeah. They were like $2,500 or $1,800 or something like that.
About
back in the day.
$3,000, but it would take you about 4 years to get it. And I remember thinking, boy, that's expensive, but it's not much more than like a. It was like the Mesa Boogie Mark 1 or maybe Mark 2 C Plus was like the creme de la creme amp. Like the Mark 2 C Plus is just fabulous amplifier. And we're just drifting into the Mark 3, but Dumbles were still doing their thing. And that was the thing, it was like you could get a Dumble for, like $3,000. It just take you a long time to get it. And I remember thinking, well, that's kind of a little pricey, but you know, it's one-off amps, man.
Yeah.
And now it's like, are you kidding me? Like, what?
Jason Hobbs is wondering, or he says, Shawn, I heard you hung out with Chris Richardson in Nashville as well. Another
Chris
great,
is killer.
Yeah, he's
Chris another cat. Like,
yeah.
Another great
Richards is a
player.
crazy guitar player.
Yeah. Yikes. Yeah, and he
He's coming out to our thing on Friday.
Is he gonna come? Oh,
He's
nice.
supposed
man.
to.
Oh, it'd be great to see him. And he's such a sweet guy. But yeah, there's another guy. It's like, man,
Did I ever tell you about how I met him?
no.
So I was at Stang Guitars in Edmonton, Alberta, doing like just demoing some of our amps. I think before they carried them. Like I think it was like I was going in there trying to get them to pick up our stuff early on. And Tyler Stang was like, "Oh yeah, well, I got this great country guitar player here, you know, so you should bring them by and, you know, he'll give them a rip and we'll see what we think." And
Country
like
guitar player. Chris can play anything he wants.
dude, I thought he was like, I thought he worked at Stang. And like he's from Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
And like from the East Coast. And so I get in there and I set everything up and Chris starts playing and like it sounded unbelievable. Like because he's phenomenal.
Yeah, he's great.
And
Wow.
then
Yeah,
he's
great
like,
player.
"Okay, well, I'm out of here." And he takes off, right? And I'm like, "So this dude works for you?" He's like, "No, man, he walked in here today. I don't know why he was in town." He's like, "He walked in here." And I was like, "Hey, Rev's from like near Winnipeg. They're gonna stop by and you should play some of their stuff."
Yeah.
And that's when I met Chris. And then, you know, shortly after that, I think I ran into him probably at a NAMM show with J Rocket. And then he told me he was moving to Nashville and doing the J Rocket demo thing at first, and then
Yeah, that's how I met him, was through Chris
Was-
Van
yeah.
Chris Van Tessel with J Rocket. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a great guitar player. Sweetheart guy. Another guy is just really nice dude.
Ilmaris asks if since we both have lots of guitars, do we you have tons of guitars, do you use regular strings or coated ones that last long? I use NYXLs. I don't know if they're coated or what they are. I just
They're
use
not. Yeah, I mean, I use nothing but NYXLs anymore. They do last longer. I don't know why, but they absolutely do. There's like a different core. There's something, whatever they did,
Yep.
I really like. And I've been playing D'Addario strings forever.
Yep.
But the NYXLs are great. The only time I use coated strings is occasionally on acoustic guitars. I'll use Elixirs, the
Yep.
Nano Webs. But for the most part, I tend to shy away from coated electric strings. NYXL, if you want a string, that's for me. That's it.
We're the same. I use Elixirs on acoustics for the one time every 4 or 5 years that I touch one of my acoustic guitars. And then I use NYXLs on everything, or I'll use EXL 110 or 140, like either
The
either
straight.
10s or the light top heavy bottoms.
Yeah, straight
on-
EXL 10 to
Yeah,
46.
that's what I
110s.
played for forever. And then when NYXLs came out, I don't remember if it was Sam or who it was, or probably Bruce, like probably Sam's dad, was like, "You should try these." And I'm like, "Sure, man, whatever." And I'm like, they feel like D'Addario strings. It's
Yeah.
good. I played Slinkies when I was a teenager. Now they, I don't know, nothing against Ernie Ball because I love their guitars. Yeah, I don't know. They just feel funny to me. And I don't know. I like
Yeah,
D'Addario.
it's to each his own. For me, it's like, yeah, D'Addario.
NYXLs.
NYXLs. What are you?
Rainbow Slinkies.
Ernie Ball Slinkies. Interesting.
Yeah.
Dorian.
Steve,
I mean-
what's your deal, man?
Slinkies.
Slinkies, yeah.
Really? What color?
Either 9s or 10s.
So it's pink or green.
Or green, yeah.
Yeah, pink or green. Yeah.
You play your stuff is like pretty fast action too, right? Like, yeah. I remember when I first picked up one of your Les Pauls, I was like, "Holy shit!" Like this thing plays like a Charvel. Like it's just shred central. Not that I can shred, but that's what it feels like. You guys change more guitars than strings. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I don't get rid of the guitars very often. Jason
You
Ross,
mean if
yes.
the strings wear out, do I buy a new guitar? Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Jason Ross, do I still have the Taylor 814? Yes, I have a Taylor 814, and I still have I think you probably played, I have a Taylor 8-string baritone. That is a badass acoustic guitar. It's not that useful for a lot of things because it's got so much bottom end in it, but just sitting and playing it, it is the most like gratifying sounding thing in the room.
Yeah, massive.
Yeah, it's just killer. I haven't played Dunlop strings really. I think, is Dean Markley still a brand?
I was just thinking, are they?
Yeah.
Are they still
Yeah.
doing? But are they still?
I don't mind.
Acoustic, isn't it?
I don't mind. I don't mind SIT stuff either. Hoogie gave us some SIT strings to try, and I like their 11s on on Les Pauls. I don't know what they're called. I just know they're SIT strings. And
Yeah.
they're kind of like, they feel like kind of a cross between Slinkies and D'Addarios for me, but no offense, Hoogs, I still,
Yeah.
you know,
Sorry,
creature
Hoogie.
of habit with D'Addario.
No, it's D'Addario. Actually, when I talked to them, they said the way to make sure you don't screw it up is just D'Addario.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So you don't say D'Addario, it's D'Addario. Yeah.
I'm gonna start calling them SpaghettiOs now. Jason, I have no idea what it's called. I think it's just called the 8-string baritone acoustic. It's cool. It's B to B, and the A and the D are doubled up like on a 12-string. One day we should do that. I mean, I know this is almost always about like, you know, high gain stuff, but we should pull out like, especially when you're up, because I can't play acoustic guitar to save my life. But we should pull out, get you and Joey to come out and pull out the 8-string and the
it'd be fun.
yeah. Yep.
What
about boomers for the 15 minutes that they are bright shiny? Lawrence, you know what, man? I played.
Boomers are fine, man. They
played,
wear out quick, but they're great.
Back when I was playing in like a hard rock band, where once we decided to tune down a half step, and like everything was drop D from there, and we wanted everything as heavy as possible. I was playing like the Zakk Wylde boomers, where it was like 10 to 70. Like you either had 10 to 60 or 10 to 70.
What?
And man, it was fucking awesome. Like drop D power chords never sounded so good.
Yeah, I bet.
But back then, like every 2 shows that I played, I changed my strings anyway because I was an idiot. I didn't really care if they were dead. I just always thought, oh, I sweat too much.
Change them.
And change them.
I was like that. Now I won't change strings until they're literally misintonating, and then I'll change them.
Right.
Yeah.
I change them honestly after you've touched my Schecter. Whenever you come up, my Schecter gets so much play because it's not just because you touched it, but when you come up, it's like we're product testing stuff, and like our go-to guitar in the shop for, I mean, it's the one that I played the most, but also for all of the testing is that Schecter Nick Johnson.
That's a great guitar.
So after Shawn leaves, I go to do the live stream. I'm like, why are these strings so dead? And like Sammy's always like, well, Shawn played your guitar, and I'm like, well, Shawn played my guitar for like 7 hours, like for over the last 2 days. I'm like, and then Brad played it, and you played it, and I played it. Like, I'm like, well, that's why.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, Derek, the first church guitar player, not able to play acoustic guitar since the creation of the acoustic. It's true, man. My brother's the acoustic guitar worship leader. I've always been an electric player, and I can play acoustic guitar. I'm not good at it. Like, you know how there's good acoustic players, and then there's me.
Well, no, acoustic guitar is so funny because, like, from a session world, just sit with an acoustic guitar and do this.
And you were all yellow.
And make sure it sits in the track. You will get your ass handed to you on a platter.
Yeah.
So there's something about, like,
there's
so much more to acoustic guitar, man.
Oh,
especially if you're on a session and this is the pass. Sounds really easy.
Yeah, till you have to do it.
Until you got to play with the drummer. And
Yeah.
the producer's like, I need you to sit with the drummer, and then you get your ass handed to you, and all of a sudden, acoustic guitar is really hard.
Well, I mean,
Real hard.
I view acoustic guitar like I view bass players, man. Like real bass players. Like there's lots of people who can play the bass guitar, and there's lots of people who can play the acoustic guitar. Then there are acoustic guitar players, and there are bass players. Like Paul Yee, our buddy, is a bass player. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
I can play the bass.
But you look at someone like Brian Sutton. That's an acoustic guitar player. Heartbreaking. And that's the thing. It's like, and I'm not saying that I did tons of acoustic tracking.
Yep.
And I play a lot of acoustic guitar. But when I look at like the real cats, like Brian Sutton especially comes to mind, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's the real cat. Like
Trey Hensley.
Huh?
Trey Hensley. Like just nothing but like chicken picking, like shreds his balls off on an acoustic guitar, and you're like,
yeah, and then you get in all the bluegrass guys like Guthrie Trapp will break your heart on acoustic guitar. So will Andy Wood.
Yep.
But when I think about guys that sit into a track,
yeah.
Yikes, man.
Yep.
Brian Sutton, come on, man.
There's no. Lauren says there's no hiding on acoustic guitar tracks.
Nope.
It's almost all transients, timing. Yep.
Right hand, if your right hand isn't like, you got to change picks, you got to change pick angle, you got to, I mean, there's so much to it. It's a lot.
DR strings. I know I haven't used DR strings ever really, but I know Scott Bernard is a DR strings dude.
Scott plays and speaking another great guitar
Yeah,
player.
like,
Dang, man.
just
And he's the
phenomenal.
guy that nails the Meet Me Halfway solo with Kenny Loggins
Yep.
live, because Kenny's still doing that song. And man, there's another dude, Scott Bernard. But yeah, DRs are fine. It's whatever, man.
Yeah,
like,
whatever
string
feels good
wise,
to your
it's
hands.
like, yeah, whatever works.
Jason Hobbs is asking, any funny stories playing with Carrie Underwood?
Well, I've got scads of them, but none that I should probably.
Right? Yeah.
No,
You're I'd like to work again in this town.
She's a sweetheart. I have made horrific errors playing with Carrie, where usually it's in the most intimate situations where it's acoustic band, and she'll talk about the song we're going to do. She'll spend a long time talking about the song we're going to do,
Yeah.
and I will start the wrong
different
song.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've had things like that happen with her. But yeah, I've got all kinds of stories. But it's usually when, and she's always so sweet about it. She just laughs it off. I mean, it's kind of that, hey, don't do that again. But that was
Yeah.
really funny.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I mean, I've got funny stories about like my techs and the antics that they would pull while I'm trying to work. Like, you know, especially in some of the tours, like just to be funny, like they would, what I call jazz cage. So you have to do these really, really fast guitar changes between songs.
Right.
And it's really orchestrated. You get it down to a science, but what they'll do is they'll jazz cage me. So what'll happen is I'll hand them a guitar. I'm used to having it slung here. The next
Yeah.
guitar I get,
It's like way up.
I get it over my head. It hits my chin.
Yeah.
And it's here. And then I got to go out and take a solo next to the artist on camera, jazz cage.
Looking like Tom Morello.
Yeah, so I've had, you know, a lot of stuff like that. But yeah, Carrie, it was great working for her. I mean, for me, when I stopped, it was just time to turn the page. But she was absolutely brilliant artist. She's one of the best singers in the industry, untouchable. So I'm really blessed to have worked with her.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
Yeah, I think that's one thing. I mean, that's a whole other stream we could do, talking about like what a lot of players see as the fantasy of being on tour and being on the road versus the realities of being on tour and being on the road. And
Yeah.
you know, it's funny, like just hearing you and Stu yesterday talking about like Stu's like, well, tomorrow, like not today, but tomorrow at 2 p.m. I've got my granddaughter's birthday, and he's like, and you know, he's like, I'm now at the point where like you don't miss granddaughters' birthdays because you've missed enough of your kids' birthdays.
You turn down
And-
work.
yeah, and everything that like now like that stuff doesn't get missed. And I mean, I've got lots of friends that, especially now that touring is back up, that they're out on the road. And yeah, I mean, you've got guys that are away from home for
I miss
2.5 months.
Yeah, I miss birthdays, funerals. My wife's mother died in my house while I was on the road.
Jeez.
Yeah, so you do. It's a blessing, but at the same time, you know, it's at some point you learn to balance that whole perspective, and that was that's what I told Stu. You know, he was like, yeah, you learn not to miss grandkids' birthdays, and for me, it's like, yeah, I missed enough of my kids' birthdays.
Yeah.
I don't even have the grandkids yet, you know.
Well, and I you know, I was guilty of this too, that like when you're young and you're like, you know, like there is this fantasy of being on the road and being, you know, in a van with a trailer, or, you know, if you're fortunate enough to get to the level of being in a bus, right? Like, but you talk to the guys, and they're not cynical and jaded guys, but you talk to the guys who have been on the bus for 10 years, and they're like, you know, it's really like that bunk's really not that comfortable. And you know what I mean? Like it's really, it you know, not saying that it just becomes a job to them, but that part of the job, there is no more allure to like there was when you were getting into it. And
Yeah, because I mean the Carrie tour was really, I mean we were always on really nice buses, always in really nice hotel rooms. You know, it was a nice tour, but yeah, there's a lot that you don't think about when you get into that. You know, you think, okay, I've arrived.
Yeah.
But then there's things you have to think about. You know, when you're a young cat, you know, it's fine. But when you've got kiddos and, you know, your wife and family. It's like, yeah, there's things you have to kind of think about as you go.
Yep.
And you learn as you go. That's kind of the point that Stu and I were making to each other. It's like, well,
Yeah.
we figured it out.
Things you couldn't say no to
Yeah.
10 or 15
Heck
years ago
no.
now
Yeah, there's
are
no
the
way I
things
would-
that there's no way you wouldn't say
Yeah,
no to.
because I just have a different perspective. But I'm also blessed to be in a place where I can say, well, I think there's a better cat for that.
Yep.
You know, it's not like, well, no. But it's just like I'm blessed to be in a place where I can say, well, I'm going to miss some things that I don't want to miss.
Yeah.
And I can afford to say, you know what, there's a cat that is in a place where he can do all that.
Yep.
You know? Yeah.
Yep. L. Scott asked about string joy. I've never tried string joy strings.
I've heard about them, and I've heard they're great, but no, I haven't. I mean, I'm such a D'Addario guy. I've been playing them for 3 decades, probably more. So
I know Landreth was using them for a long time because he does like really custom gauges because he's got piano wires.
because he's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, never tried him. He sounds great when he plays them, if that's what he still plays.
Yeah, Joey's a beast.
And if he doesn't still play them, when he did play them, he sounded great. So, Jason asked, what was it like to play with Stone Temple Pilots?
Oh, insane. Speaking of just like what is going on.
Yeah.
But I also went to high school with Scotty, and I worked. You know, when my brothers had Mesa Boogie, my brother and I, my twin brother Scott and I had Mesa Boogie Hollywood.
Yep.
Rob was working there, Rob DeLeo.
Yep.
And so, you know, it wasn't like they just called me on it. It's like I knew those cats.
Yeah.
And that's how I was brought into it. But yeah, it was like, that was my first what?
Yeah.
You know, and then showing up at like the Royalton Hotel, you know,
Yeah.
getting flown out there and like put up and just treated like royalty. It was like, that was my first real experience with like, wow, this is what rock stars do,
Yeah.
you know. But no, I've known those cats and still stay in touch with Rob and Dean and, you know, Scott Weiling, of course, God bless his soul. I mean, he and my brother Scott were like joined at the hip, and especially in high school. And Eric Kretz, I mean, they're just super, super sweet cats. And anytime I think about that, it's always with just such respect and such joy. It's like, yeah, I was so blessed to have been able to do that. Awesome. Yeah, awesome.
Awesome. All right, we're getting way longer than we
'cause
normally ever
Steve,
go. and-
Steve just got up. He's like,
yeah.
yo.
He's like, guys, I was supposed to leave here at 6 o'clock.
Yeah. He's like, look, man.
So we'll answer like 2 or 3 more questions, and then we're probably going to head out. Ritesh asks, how much loothering do you do while doing a guitar setup? Shawn can answer his side of that. Mine is I don't do any of my own guitar setups anymore. I do a terrible job on it compared to Sammy's dad, Bruce.
Oh, Bruce
is so good
that's
at it
great.
that I would rather just pay him whatever, the $50-$60 to set my guitars up before you come up when we're going to be doing a lot of work, or you know, if they're going to NAMM or anything, it gets a string change and setup, and then that's it.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, for me, I do as little as possible. I do, I'll do neck relief. I'll do intonation. I'll work a little bit on the nut. I won't file frets. But for the most part, that's really, unless your guitar is just, your frets are just dented in. For me, I don't really need to do much more than that. It's like with climate change, I look at neck relief. When things sound wrong, I'll look at that. If things sound tingy or sitar, I'll look at the bridge. But that's about it. Like I said, I don't get out fret files because I know that would be a disaster. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll hire somebody for that.
What's the next Rev release? Products at NAMM in April. Watch for it. Coming in April.
Yep.
There'll be a couple of new things. We've already talked about lots of it. So if you sit back and watch through hours and
some
hours
of
of
it
live streams,
accidentally
you'll
ended
find
up on
out.
camera.
Yeah. So, do you file the nut every time you change strings? Man, I don't ever do that. So no.
No.
Yeah. So. All right. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight. It was a lot of fun. This is the first time we've done this like with we hope proper audio and everything, that hopefully it all worked properly compared to when we're back home. But yeah.
Yeah, and thanks to Steve and Blackbird for
Steve,
helping us out with all
Blackbird,
this, yeah.
Dorian and Manny for making the trip
Dorian
down.
and Manny for like
you know,
all the work and
powering through.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah. We're going to head over to Dino's, I think. So, nice. So, if you didn't hear the Dumble, just scroll back through, I don't know, some of the last 2.5 hours and find out when you hear Shawn playing it and tell us what you think.
And if you don't like me, then Derek's played it too, so you'll hear something.
Yeah. Yeah. Put pencil graphite in nut slots.
Yep, absolutely. Number 2 pencil, that's what I do on all my guitars. If they start tinging, that's the first thing I do.
I'll ask Bruce next time I talk to him what they
He'll
do.
probably say, what?
I think it's nut sauce that he uses.
Oh, yeah, Big Ben's nut sauce.
I have, now, listen, man.
Big Dorian's nut sauce.
I do have a
got his own
problem.
special
I do have a
formulation.
problem with the nut sauce thing. But that being said, I have used it. It's just the only thing I've found that happens over pencil lead is when I use that stuff, the string rings darker. Unless I use it, if I place it just perfectly proper backside of each position, it's okay. But if I get a little too much in there, I lose all of my sympathetics and all the stuff I love, and I have to go in and actually wipe some of it out. So that stuff is great and works for some people, but for me, I always go right back to number 2 pencil lead, and it works fine.
I'm waiting for Bruce to chime in and be like,
Shut up. That's what he's gonna say. He's like, shut up, you.
Yeah. Like when Luke was trying to tell people, was he trying to tell people to use graphite, or I don't remember what it was, but Luke was trying to.
Graphite, and I got made fun of for using pencil lead. So
Yeah, I remember that, and I was like trying to type as fast. Like, I was like, no, that's
No, that's what I still use. So.
Well, isn't there was Graphtec, right? Wasn't there something called Graphtec? And the idea was it would stay put, whereas if you try to do pencil lead, not all of it would kind of stay put. So if you use Graphtec. Yeah, so there's that too. And wasn't that Keith Urban's guitar tech? Why am I drawing a blank?
Chris?
Yeah, wasn't that his thing?
Might be.
Yeah, I want to say Graffinino, like that was his. Wasn't that his thing? Graphtec?
Could be. I don't know. I don't know him well enough. I just know that he was into metal. So, Keith Urban's guitar tech was a big metal fan.
Yeah, and
Good
awesome
guitar
guitar tech. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll have to ask him when we see him at. He's coming to Gear and Beer, right?
Hope so.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'll have to
We'll
ask
find
him.
out.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Steve is scowling at us.
Yeah, he's like, guys, I want to go home. Thanks for hanging out. No Rev Dumble coming. So, nope. Shit out of luck on that one, boys.
We'll take a picture of a Rev with a Dumble sitting near it, or maybe a Rev on top of a Dumble. We can do that.
bots.
Yeah,
That's what we're
bots.
going to do. All right, bots. Thanks for hanging out tonight. It's a good time hanging out with Shawn. Playing the old shreddy sticks and figuring out what the old Dumble sounds like. It's not too bad. Take her for a little rip. All right. Thanks, everybody.
See everybody.
Thank you.